What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day, another episode of 30NSG, the Daily Grind. If you guys like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. We just cover news stories, have conversations, get you through a couple of hours of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. So on today's show, we're going to cover the Borderlands 4 teaser trailer contains several secrets. And Randy Pitchford says, and fans are on the hunt. So we're going to break down the trailer a little bit because a lot of people are excited about Borderlands 4. So we'll talk about that for a bit. And then we're going to jump into Gamescom Day 1. There's two channels. IGN's covering it. And then also, Xbox is also doing their own thing. So we're going to bounce around the video. It's already been going on for about a half hour to 45 minutes. So we're going to watch some interviews with Phil Spencer. We're going to watch the Diablo. We're going to watch some other things from like Starship Troopers and whatnot. So that's what's on the docket today. Again, if you guys like what I do here, make sure you hit that like button down below. It helps us out. We are a small channel. And we're trying to hit 3,000 subscribers. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, hit that subscribe button. Let's get to 3,000 subscribers. Appreciate it very much. And let's get started. What's going on, chat? What's going on, Travis? What's going on, Stealth? What's going on, Nate? Dolphin, Eclipse. Who else is here? Crowded House. What's going on, Kylo? Morning, Jason. I think that's everyone. Robert Jones. I see you. I see you. I see you. Let's start off with Borderlands here. All right, so Borderlands 4 teaser trailer contains several secrets, Randy Pitchford says, and fans are on the hunt. Now, I did see some yesterday. That's why yesterday when we watched it live, I went back and went frame by frame just to look at stuff. I said, there's things there. There's things there. What's going on, Ron? So, Gamescom 2024 got off to a big start with the reveal of Borderlands 4, the next game in Gearbox looter shooter series during the opening night live. The announcement came in via a teaser trailer. Below, on that face values offers an insight of what you can expect when the game launches in 2025. But then Eagle Eye fans have spotted a number of secrets buried within the trailer itself, and Gearbox Randy Pitchford has said there's even more yet to be discovered. So there are several secrets in the teaser trailer for Borderlands, and Pitchford tweeted following on ONL, and he says, quote, "Some I have not seen commented on yet. What have you found?" Let me just say something before we even dive into what you've seen in the trailer, if you've seen it or not, is that there's more hype for Borderlands 4 and all they did was show a minute-and-a-half teaser trailer, then there's been in the last 4 years talking about Borderlands, the movie, coming out, okay? And then, obviously, we also know the Borderlands movie is now going to home video purposes, where you can rent it within the next 9 days. So that's interesting. All right, so it says, let's start off what we've found, okay? Most obvious secret is a snapshot of what is very much looks like the Borderlands villain Handsome Jack with the vault symbol covering his face. Now, we've said on other podcasts and on this that Handsome Jack's most likely coming back. This is the heavily suggested that Handsome Jack is the president of Hyperion Corporation, returns in Borderlands 4. Okay, so obviously you see it there. But what else? There's Iridian writing in the trailer. Okay, and there's also ancient, presumably existing alien race that serves as something of a mysterious force throughout Borderlands series. So this could play a role in Borderlands 4. So there you go. You see the little writing, which I said. Okay, and it says, "He is watching." That's what that's translated. I said it yesterday. I said someone will break it down and tell us what it says by tomorrow. So he is watching. This one says, "Break free." Okay. So, but what does the writing say? It says it believes this is a substitution cipher, okay? A translation working of "he is watching" and "break free." It says this is all very cool, but what does it mean? Fans have a number of theories, including if he's watching alludes to the Watcher, an alien. Origins appears in 2014's Borderlands, the prequel sequel, or the pre-sequel. Some fans are currently speculating that the Watcher will end up as an antagonist for Borderlands 4, and some at least to the shadowy figure who also reveal to have been pulling all the strings all along. Okay. Meanwhile, you can see this right here. It says this is also Handsome Jack or something else. Okay. It says, meanwhile, mysterious orange face pops up at the end of the trailer, which also may be another look at Handsome Jack or something else. Fans aren't sure who it is or who the robotic hand shown grabbing the face mask belongs to, but also clues combined with Gearbox confirmation of Borderlands 4 is set to a brand new planet, suggesting that Borderlands 4 is certainly heading in something of a new direction, perhaps more serious tone this time around. Okay, they don't know who this is, with the arm that reached out and turns the actual mask around. As Pitchford says, there's more hidden secrets players have yet to discover. Some of them also be a little bit more Easter eggs, Twitter than spotted so far, and thinks it's easy to miss looking at Lilith crashing into the Pandora's moon, and the main setting of Borderlands, the pre-sequel. We'll see Ellipse and also the trailer and the collision course with the new planet. Okay. So it says, what else do we know about Borderlands 4 at this point? It describes it as a definitive looter shooter. And we know that this is at some point after March 2025, but before the end of 2025 on PC via Steam and Epic Store, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. So we know that they're dropping the last gen. Borderlands 3 will be a spin-off of Tiny Tina's Wonderland, was also both timed Epic Games Store exclusive. Clearly, Borderlands 4 is not. It says, see if you have what it takes to go down the history of legendary Vault Hunter. So basically, it's talking about... There was another thing that I wanted to look at, right? Let me bring up the trailer real fast. And I want to go frame by frame for just a second, because I saw something yesterday that I didn't know what it was, but it looks like... Let's see, Borderlands 4 trailer. It was at the end over here. And I went frame by frame. Let me see if I can get it up on the screen again. There is something, it looks like an actual date. And I'm not talking about the 2025. I'm not talking about this date. There's an actual date. All right, there's like lots of little... I wish I could go even less frames, but it won't let me. How do you... No, that's too far. Yesterday I got it, and I don't think it's going to pop up now. Yeah, it's not popping up. I think it's going too many frames. There was definitely another date put in here, and it's between here and here. I can't get it. Yeah, it's just not letting me. It's not letting me grab it. I'll have to put it in an editing program. I'm sure somebody else has. Yeah, it's in here. You can actually see the writing right here. It's like underneath. I know you guys think I'm like crazy, but there's actually something within here as well. But anyway, so that's about it for Borderlands 4. Now obviously, from the trailer yesterday, from the planet ripping open another tear in the multiverse or the universe or whatever, and then what we know about 2K itself, right? 2K wants constant live service, microtransaction type of stuff, and I think, again, speculation, but I think that Borderlands 4 will be a live service type of game. In a different type of form. I don't think they're going to be selling... Maybe they'll sell DLCs like they've been doing in the past, but I think they're going to be doing a live service, constantly evolving and making it the game that lasts for, supporting it for years and years and years and years, differently than what they're supporting now. Like right now, they still support, they added stuff for Borderlands 2 and they added stuff for Borderlands 3. I'm talking about like a live service game support, right? 2K wants all this kind of stuff in all of their games, hence why they're doing, Grand Theft Auto 6 online. They definitely want games that constantly continue going, even though the game, when you play the game, you put the game down, but they come back and play that game for more. Okay. Let me see what you guys are saying. Kylo says, I don't see Borderlands 4 dropping anywhere near GTA 6 release, and they're both owned by Take-Two. This has got to be some kind of a gap between the two games, right? That's a great point, Kylo, right? Because I was just bringing it up that Take-Two, because of Grand Theft Auto 6, there's got to be... I can't imagine that... What do they do? Do they... obviously, it's not a shadow drop anymore because we know about Borderlands 4, but do they put it out early in the year? Do they put Grand Theft Auto out early next year? We still haven't really seen anything about that. They usually start showing stuff about 9 to 6 months before that starts to come out that we know, right? So maybe soon we hear something about Grand Theft Auto, and then early next year. I think late next year. I really don't think that this is coming out 2025. I think this is, even though Randy Pitchford on Twitter has said that we've been working on this for several years, I don't know, man. I think they wanted the hype because of the movie. The movie didn't do very well, so the hype is not really there. But where do you drop this? You're not dropping this anywhere near within 3 months of Grand Theft Auto, right? You want Grand Theft Auto to drop the single-player game, then add the online, right? So you don't want your next game to come out anywhere near this game. You want everyone else to try to put it around so it just drains them. But you're making a great point. There's no way they're putting Gearbox is nowhere putting Borderlands 4 near Grand Theft Auto and vice versa. I don't think that happens, right? So where does it fall? I don't think this game is going to be ready. And if it is, it comes out, and this is why I think it's a live service game, where even doesn't matter if it's done or not, they'll support it and keep going. All right, let me see what you guys are saying here. Travis says, I will try Borderlands 1. Yeah, if it's too hard, I'll go back to 2. 1's a good game. You can definitely see the changes, though, from 1 to 2. It's as much as Mass Effect 1 to 2, right? From, like, what you played in Mass Effect 1 and then you go to 2, it's like night and day. That's how Borderlands 1 is to me, to Borderlands 2. It's gone, Roadkill. Who's crazy? Go on, Water Bear. Travis says, keep in mind, there's rumors that we've been working on this since 3 ended and they didn't want to show anything. That's fine, right? 3 ended in 2019. They were still supporting it in 2020. Then COVID hit. And we all have brains, right? We all know that everybody that worked on a game during COVID time was delayed. So if a game started during COVID, then it didn't really get started until 24 months after, right? Because people were working at home and whatnot, right? So it delayed massively a year and a half to 2 years of process of making a game, right? So let's just say it's been working. Okay, it started during COVID. So erase 2020, erase 2021. Okay. So now let's say they started full production in late 2021, early 2022. It's been 2 years, 2.5 years. It takes 3 to 5 years to make a video game. Okay, like full time, 3 to 5 years. Bigger games take 5 to 7 years. So even if I give them that it started back in early 2020, this game is not going to come out complete. It's going to be out at 3, worked on for the next 2 years to make it 5, but while it releases at year 3 and not releases at year 5. Kylo says, I think one of those two is getting bumped to 2026. Yeah, I would think so. And I think it would be this game. I think Borderlands 4 would get bumped if Grand Theft Auto 6 is ready. Soy2 says Xbox is the market leader now. They own all of most played games. Is that true? Where's that source? Where's that source, sir? Travis says, right, what I'm saying is it could be, and they were going to have it out in like 5 months. Remember, Fallout 4 was announced 4 months later. it was out. Sure. And was that Fallout 4 or was that Fallout 76? I'm pretty sure Fallout 76 came out 4 months later, not Fallout 4. Am I confused on that? And if it's Fallout 76, no, it was 4. Well, I know when they announced Fallout 76, it came out pretty fast, and we all know how that game came out. And that's a live service game, by the way. Is more Gamescom coming? Yeah, it's on right now. It's on right now. We're going to go live in there in a second. Well, we're going to watch it, but it's not going to be live. We're going to skim through some of the parts that already happened this morning. That's not totally true, Eclipse. Grand Theft Auto single player, you're absolutely correct. The online was an absolute clusterfuck when it came out for Grand Theft Auto 4, and also even worse for Grand Theft Auto 5. Okay, let's just put it in perspective here. Even that you're saying that Fallout 4, I looked it up. Fallout 4 took about 7 years to develop. Bethesda started working on it right after Fallout 3 was released in 2008. Okay? So, great. So I am correct because games take supposedly 3 to 5. Now they take 5 to 7. So let's do the math. Let's do the math. If they started on Borderlands 4 right after 3, and let's just say COVID didn't happen, right? The bubonic plague didn't happen for planet Earth, then right now they would have 4 years of full-time development on a game. But they didn't. And we know they didn't because no studio did. Hence why studios were struggling. They didn't get their games out in time because if they were 2 years in and then all of a sudden that happened, it was delayed. Everything's been delayed by 2 years. So, where's this game coming out? And when it comes out next year, that's 4 years? That's if they had no problems. So you're saying that it's coming out and it's going to be... And I'm saying no fucking way it comes out and it's complete. Now, if it's a live service game, which we're speculating it's going to be, okay... Well, then that fits the MO. Come out year 3, okay, because I think they had full development starting in late 21, early 22. So 22, 23, 24, comes out in 25. So you have 3 years, 3.5 years. They launch it, and then they fix it over the next 2 years. That's what I think. Kyle says, I hope they release online later. And they did that with 5, Red Dead 2. They give it time to beat. Oh, yeah, I don't think they release it day 1. They'll tease it, but they're not going to release it day 1. They want people to play the story. They definitely want people to play the story. Travis says, I think you could be right. Well, we have an emote for that. We have an email for that. I'm not saying I'm right now, but you know. Travis says, in fact, I kind of hope you are, because if I have a Monster Hunter and Borderlands 4 in the same year, my social life is dead. Thank you very much for the 17 months, for the 17-month support. Appreciate that. Mass Effect is fantastic, Nate, if you like those type of games. Mass Effect 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. Kylo says, I can't wait to buy GTA 6 5 separate times on PC and 4 different console generations. I own it 3 times. I got it on the older system, the newer system, and PC. I liked Andromeda. It's the least favorite for a lot of people in the series because it does fall off a cliff a little bit, but it also does some things that I wish they implemented in the other Mass Effects. I liked Andromeda. The story's not the greatest. The side quests are better. Gameplay's good. Your powers and stuff are good. The open world type of stuff is really good. But overall, yeah, Andromeda was like probably the least favorite for people that played the Mass Effect games. Yeah, see, Jason, Andromeda sucks. Yeah, it's the worst one, but it's still a good game. Yeah, well, 3 is divisive because of the ending. You're absolutely right. And then they went back and fucking changed the ending. You know what I mean? They fixed the ending after the fact. Andromeda will make your face tired. If you remember when Andromeda came out, that was the biggest problem with that game. Everyone just couldn't let it go about that one character with the face. That was the biggest thing. Articles written, people talking about it so much. It was just the face. It's more than the face, but that's what everyone focused on. All right. Let's go to we got Gamescom. I want to get to starts off with the Xbox here. Phil Spencer does a little chat this morning. So we're gonna bring that up.
No idea why we're calling it a booth because it's an underestimate things you can and experience.
Okay, hold on. Are they
gameplay and some big
game mode reveal launches is here with us. It's Sarah Bond and Phil Spencer. Thank you so much for joining us today. First question, how does it feel to be here at Xbox's Gamescom presence?
Dude, that girl's hair is like bright. Shades for that.
It is so much energy here. It's been fantastic to see the
Sarah Bond. Oh, I'm sorry. Bond. Sarah Bond.
fans to be part of Opening Night Live last night and to see their reaction. This booth, and I have no idea why we're calling it a booth, because it's not a booth. It's an entire wonderland.
It really is. It's an underestimation calling it a booth, right?
With experiences, with games that you can play, things you can see, incredible photo opportunities is fantastic. So to see folks pouring in and experiencing it. And it's just, it reminds you of what makes this industry special, which is all about.
I like how they're all looking at each other across the thing going, I'm ready to dish out some bullshit. Are you ready to dish out some bullshit? They're like, I'm ready to listen to some bullshit.
About celebrating games, the joy they bring, and the people who make them.
It's, for us, our first Gamescom with Activision, Blizzard, Bethesda, Xbox all here together. So there's definitely something special. All the teams have gotten together, and I think there's just such great representation. I'll also say the industry has gone through a lot of transition with our shows, and seeing Gamescom as strong as ever with fans, consumers coming in.
Absolutely. I love the marketing lingo. Let's sell this. Let's sell this. Let's listen to this together.
All the creators that are here and a strength across Europe. Like, we need more of this in the industry. I'm glad we're here supporting. And it's just awesome to see how the gamers show up to support this show.
Bigger and better every year. We love to see it. Before we come to the booth, though, I actually want to talk. I saw you both were at opening night live yesterday, and there was some pretty
See how
amazing
big
reveals.
Phil Spencer's
and news
eyes
in
were there?
So what was it
I think his eyes are hurting. Look, watch this. Watch his eyes. I'll pause it on it.
at opening night live yesterday?
Like, look at his eyes. Can you guys see that? Can you guys see how white his eyes are? I think her hair's hurting his eyes.
And there were some pretty amazing reveals and news in there. So what was it like? I couldn't get a ticket, unfortunately, but what was it like to be in the room with that live reaction?
There's nothing better than being in the room with the live reaction and to just see people marvel at the things that are being made, all the work being showcased.
You ever feel like, you know, when they interview athletes at the end of a football game? And, you know, the guy hits a home run or runs for a touchdown or scores the winning goal, and the reporter asks this, like, really long question. They're like, how do you feel after you did this and what you did? And then the athlete's like, you know, I just tried my hardest and did the thing, and I like to pray, and you know, we just scored a touchdown. We got everything good, and yeah. And you're like, brilliant. That's the way I feel like these people, when they talk about game companies, it's like the questions here, and they go all around, and they just make it sound really nice. You know,
Folks put so much work into bringing that forward. I'd say for me, it was really cool to see Game Pass titles in the show. I think we had over a dozen titles that are coming to Game Pass in the show. We just have a fantastic lineup. But I was especially excited to announce that Genshin Impact is coming to Xbox.
Yeah, that's my one. That's
There's some pretty cool Game Pass rewards that are going to be part of that.
Nice.
There's
what do I think about the interview? I don't know. We're watching the interview.
going to be full cross progression, and it's also going to be on cloud. So that one was a real highlight for me because I know so many fans are excited to enjoy that on the Xbox.
I love when creators are making new things, and
Buzzwords, creators, new things.
it's you have to be really brave to come to a show maybe before you're done,
Very brave.
and show your game, get the feedback. Teams that are creating new games. I thought the diversity of games at the show was awesome.
Oh, absolutely,
From
yes.
big, huge games to smaller games, things we've heard of, seen, things we hadn't heard of. I also have to say Genshin, we got to meet with the MiHoYo team earlier in the day, and they had such excitement for their announcement, and it was nice to be able to support that.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. And obviously we can't talk about opening night live. We saw some amazing new stuff from Indiana Jones and the Great Circle as well.
Yeah, those guys are great. They've been working really hard over there. You know, at Machine Games, those guys are great. They're bringing a great IP forward.
Was that exciting release date. We also saw the news about PlayStation as well, which is really cool. I'm really interested in that. So I want to know how this connects back to Xbox's perspective on how and when this approach happens to other titles.
I mean, I'll start just saying Machine Games is doing such a nice job with that game. I thought it showed really well. And that's the most important thing is quality of the games, teams that are getting support that can go build the game. And it was just nice. The long gameplay segment that they had, I thought was fantastic. Going to the PlayStation announcement, obviously last spring.
I have a question. Did you notice that Xbox didn't announce that it was coming to PlayStation, right? They just put a thing on the title, and then Keighley was like, hey, one more thing. Coming to PlayStation. They made Keighley do it and not Xbox themselves, because they don't have the balls to come out and say, oh yeah, by the way, that game that we told you is also coming to PlayStation. Now, I personally don't give a shit. Okay, I don't give a shit, right? But I just think it's funny that they didn't have the balls to say it themselves.
We launched 4 games, 2 of them on the Switch, 4 of them on PlayStation, and we said we're going to learn. We said we'd watch.
So now we learned.
I think at Showcase, I might have said, from our learning, we're going to do more. What I see when I look is our franchises are getting stronger. Our Xbox console players are as high this year as they've ever been.
Amazing.
Now, when they talk about numbers, take Microsoft out of the equation. Just a company talking about numbers. Obviously, there's always this number is always gonna go up, right? They don't keep track of people that bought an Xbox or a PlayStation or a Nintendo and broke it and trashed it, right? They only talk about what they purchased. So obviously, when he says something like this,
our Xbox console players are as high this year as they've ever been.
high as they've ever been, of course, because that's how business works, right? Like if they sold a total of 25 million last year and now they're at 28 million, they've made more. So you have more customers this year. Yes, that is true, Phil. Thank you for the education.
Amazing.
So I look at it and I say, okay, our player numbers are going up for the
Of course they are.
console platform.
It doesn't matter if you sell one more console, your console player base is going up.
Our franchises are as strong as they've ever been. And we run a business. Like, it's definitely true.
Oh, shit. You run a business. Amazing.
Inside of Microsoft, the bar is high for us in terms of the delivery that we have to give back to the company, because we get a level of support from the company that's just amazing in what we're able to go do.
That makes no sense to me. That makes no sense to me. Okay. And again, I don't have a side in the race. I'm on an Xbox or a PlayStation. I just talk business. I just talk about what the bullshit that they put out. Regardless if it was Hiroki Totoki talking or Phil Spencer talking, him saying, listen, we're a business. That's what he said. Let me rewind that. We're a business.
Amazing.
So I look at it and I say, okay, our player numbers are going up for the console platform. Our franchises are as strong as they've ever been.
Sure.
And we run a business. Like,
We run a business. Okay.
it's definitely true inside of Microsoft. The bar is
It's very true inside of Microsoft.
high for us in terms of the delivery that we have to give back to the company, because we get a level of
If I hire a salesperson for whatever business I have, and I'm like, hey, I want you to sell my stuff. And then that guy has an interview and says, well, you know, the people that support me, they really think I'm doing a good job. Yeah, because I hired you to do that job. So I'm going to support you because you work for me, right? Phil Spencer works for Microsoft. Microsoft wants to make money. They're a business, just in case you didn't know.
support from the company that's just amazing in what we're able to go do.
Of course you got support from the company. You know why? They run a business. They run a business and money makes money.
So I look at this, how can we make our games as strong as possible? Our platform continues to grow, both on console, on PC, and on cloud. And I think it's just going to be a strategy that works for us. And the last thing I'll probably say is I think as an industry right now, there's a lot of pressure on the industry. It's been growing for a long time, and now people are looking for ways to grow. And I think that us as fans, as players of games, we just have to anticipate there's going to be more change. And
Amazing. I'm telling you, it's just like a sports athlete telling you how they won the game. I just ran faster than other people. I just had to adapt and move. And then I ran faster and, took more steps than the other guy. And that's how I was faster. And that's how I scored the touchdown.
and how some of the traditional ways that games were built and distributed, that's going to change. That's going to change for all of us. But the end result has to be better games that more people can play. If we're not focused on that, I think we're focused on the wrong things. So for us as Xbox, health of Xbox, health of our platform.
How do you have health of Xbox when they've just said, and I've said, that they don't care about consoles anymore, right? Like, if you want to buy a console, buy a console. If you want to play it on the TV, play the TV. If you want to play on a Fire Stick, play on a Fire Stick. But how can you say, let me rewind it again.
We're focused on the wrong things. So for us as Xbox, health of Xbox, health of our platform, and our growing games, most important things.
Oh, that sounds...
Imagine that. The most important thing when I score touchdowns is scoring touchdowns. And the way you score touchdowns is by taking the ball from here and you put it over there. And if I move faster with this ball in my hand, I'm going to score more points as long as I don't get tackled. Things are going to change. People are going to tackle me, but I have to get away from them. And that's how you score. And that's how we won the game. Amazing stuff.
Sounds perfect. Lovely. Now back to the booth. I saw you both walking around earlier before you joined me up here, sneaking some pictures with devs at Frontier, Sega, and GSC Game World. So I want to know, Sarah, specifically what it's like to be working with our partners here in Europe and what kind of evolution we can see from these partners in the future.
The partnership we have with here in Europe is fantastic. We have over 2,000 partners in EMEA.
2,000?
Yeah, actively building games.
You know what it is like, Sarge? It's like, boom, it's in the game. Boom, it's in the game.
Games.
It's a lot of emails.
I know it is a lot of emails for Xbox, PC, and console and cloud today. We've got over 20 of them here with us, here in the booth. And it's just been great to walk around, to see what they're doing. 2 Point Museum for Sega Europe. We've got the Stalker 2 team, GSC Game World, back with us. Supporting them over the last couple of years has been a real highlight.
Artemis says, Black Myth Wukong. We said it right again today, chat. Base is inflated because of the Chinese market. How is it inflated because of the Chinese market? Isn't the planet Earth the market? And it doesn't really matter where people are playing it as long as they bought it and played it? Am I right, Artemis? I mean, according to Phil Spencer, they're running a business, right? So I would assume that the people at Game Science are running a business and they want to sell as much as possible. So it doesn't really matter if it's inflated because of China. It means that's where the market is, and that's who bought the game. So regardless if it only sells good over there and doesn't sell well over in the States or in Europe, it's a successful game because people are playing it. And that's the whole point of making games, is it not?
So to get to be able to play their game again here is fantastic. We just walked over and checked out Winterboro, which is
the
a
little
very,
mouse
very
game.
special.
Oh, they look so cute. I'm very excited for that one.
And so it's great to be able to grow here with the partners that we have in Europe.
Amazing. And it also comes, as well as the amazing support you've got for local devs, is there's such a huge play base here in Europe as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what kind of special stuff are you seeing from us over here?
I mean, Europe's always been really important to Xbox. It used to be we treated this almost solely as a PC show. Well, I'm old enough that I remember we used to kind of take E3 and just show it again. Like, this was back when we didn't really treat Gamescom with the respect that it deserves. Then we were focused more on PC. Now what we find here is putting our games on PC, on console, really matches to the diverse player base we see in Europe. Like, some of the strongest franchises on
PC is huge in Europe. Huge in Europe.
On PC or from here, you have great console support. So the most important thing for us is to show local support for creators.
Is Sarah an actual gamer? She is a gamer as far as a business gamer. Like, running a business is a game in itself.
To put games in the hands of people. One thing that's great about Gamescom is you can come and you can play the games. You can feel what it's like to play Stalker or Vessel of Hatred from Diablo. Like, you get your chance here. And I think that's something special about this show, and it's so accessible to so much of Europe. I just love that we support it the way we do.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the sheer scale that it demands, as well as you were saying earlier, Sarah, absolutely.
With our little city.
Can I just say something real fast? So just from the camera work from this guy right here. Right? He's like, there's two things that is happening right here. Either he has an earpiece in his ear, and the guy on the show floor, the switchboard, saying, get a shot. All right, cut to the gamer playing game. Okay? And they're like, he's doing nothing. Now, you and I know that this is not really an action game like a tournament-based thing. So he's just playing the game, right? So either the camera guy doesn't know games, or the person behind the camera, which I mean the producer that's running the show right now, is like, get a shot of the keyboard. Get the shot of the keyboard.
Or Vessel of Hatred
right here.
from Diablo. Like, you get your
okay,
chance
that's
here.
boring. Get a shot of the keyboard.
All right,
keyboard. Okay,
so
cut
accessible.
it. That's what happened right there. That's what happened right there.
So much of Europe. I just love that we support it the way we do.
What's going on, Argus?
Yeah, absolutely. And with the sheer scale that it demands, as well as you were saying earlier, Sarah, absolutely.
With our little city here.
Yeah, the little city that we're building. We're the mayors. So I want to speak a little bit more on hardware, as we've gone over it a couple of times here. Since I've not spoken to you since the showcase at all, which is criminal in and of itself, but we saw the 3 new options for the Xbox Series X and S. So I was wondering if there's a little bit more information we can share about that.
Well, pre-orders are starting today.
Yes, Sarah.
All right,
yeah,
get yours.
Woo!
We're launching on October 15th in
Nice.
select markets, and we also have some very cool accessibility options, which we're going to be talking more about later today. and for holiday and the rest of this year, some very cool console wraps that you can get to adorn your console as you may choose.
Christmas list sorted then. Thank you very much, Sarah. Okay, console options done. We're going to hear they're becoming just in time for Call of Duty.
I know,
Black Ops
Sol.
6, which
It
is
started an hour
amazing.
before.
Can't
We're
wait
just,
for that.
I'm going to hop around.
Yeah.
We're not watching
my
it.
goodness me, it was just
The campaign
order.
from Raven, I thought was just awesome.
Oh, absolutely fantastic. Talking of games, I do want to know though, what are you going to be playing? Is there anything you've got your eye on? Last year we spoke about Brotato,
yeah.
and I wanted to give you an update and everyone at home that I have now 100%ed Little Kitty Big City, and it is quite possibly the greatest game of all time. But yeah, is there anything on your backlog that you need to catch up on, or anything coming up soon you want to dive into?
Well, the Game Pass lineup is making the backlog extreme.
Ron, you hear this? Sarah's going to talk to you personally about your backlog. Xbox is just making backlogs, so they're making it real hard. So, Ron, listen. You got to listen to Sarah Bond here.
Extraordinarily long.
Unforgivable.
And it's getting even better this year, both on console and PCs. We've got Aura coming. We have Age of Mythology, Flight Sim 2024, which looks incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Black Ops 6, of course. Indiana Jones, Stalker 2. Like, it's all like, what, every month there's something pretty amazing.
It's a lot of games.
There's a lot of games. We like games around here. But I would say, from a personal perspective, super excited for Diablo 4, especially because my father is probably the biggest Diablo fan. So Vessel of Hatred and that coming up. Yeah, the fact that Vessel of Hatred is coming up is pretty big in their world. And then I am excited to play Genshin Impact on this.
Did you see how she said it underneath her tone there for a second? Hold on a second. Did she say
Hatred and that coming up? Yeah, the fact that Vessel of Hatred is coming up is pretty big in their world. And then
did she mean that by she's like, it's pretty big in their world, like in the world of Diablo or in the world of I don't know what she means there.
I am excited to play Genshin Impact on Xbox, and particularly to check it out over the cloud.
Yeah, very good. We'll have to duo for that one. That sounds grand. Yeah, love it. Perfect. Phil, anything for you?
Well, P3 on Xbox Live, people can see what I'm playing. A lot of Diablo.
Phil's a gamer. Phil is a gamer. I don't know if Sarah Bond's a gamer, but I know Phil is a gamer.
Diablo 4 right now. My rapid fire rogue is L100. All my glyphs to 21. Yeah. Having a good time with that. I mean, I just love the game, playing with my friends. Path of the Goddess, Kinitsugami. Nice, like our partners at Capcom doing new IP. It was awesome to be able to partner with them and something in Game Pass. As they're investing in new, like we can actually come in with some financial funding to help support them invest.
Travis says Phil isn't a gamer. People would be would fight you on this, Travis, because people gave him shit because he plays too many games and not running a company. Just saying.
And I just love the color palette, the boss design, just a really, really fun game. Some old school kind of tower defense mechanics. I love that. One of the things I get to do,
which part of his job is actually playing games to run the company, but you know, people are idiots.
Every month is I go through the ID selects with the team and we vote internally on games from different ID developers. Daydreams is a game I'm really liking. Little boy and his toy teddy bear, and kind of a single player type co-op game. It's fun. I think a couple months ago, High Water was a game that's really good. Like I love when I get a list of games from creators and teams I haven't seen before and get to dive in. I think there's like 15 of them. I play them, and my vote's just like anybody else's vote in terms of where they rank. But that's fun. A lot of great games, a lot of kind of new things and things that have been around for a while. Oh, and I'm here, so I'm not doing it. My buggy in Starfield. I'm looking forward. I've been asking for Todd for vehicles. Come on, Todd. I want vehicles in this game. I'm tired of walking around this planet. And I thought the trailer for that looked really good last night, so I can't wait to drive around.
It was like a car commercial, as Sarge said yesterday.
Wonderful. And talking of driving, I'm personally, if anyone's wondering, super excited. Forza Horizon 5 is over there.
Yeah.
It's the game I cannot put down. Absolutely adore it. So if they've...
Horizon 5 is a fantastic game. Fantastic game. I still play it every once in a while. My son and I will play it together. It's a great game.
Got something new cooking. I desperately need to see.
New gameplay mode.
Yeah. So excited. Well, thank you.
Oh, is there a new gameplay mode? What's the new
something
gameplay?
New cooking. I desperately need.
A 5v1 chase to the finish line. Oh, okay.
New gameplay mode.
Yeah. So excited. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for the chat. Please enjoy getting your hands on our lovely city we've got here. But I'm going to speak to these guys here because if, like me, you've been eyeing up those new consoles, then buckle up because we want to help you win one. Now, over to Bex with more information.
So what I think is funny, and Kylo, I think, brought it up just a second ago. So Kylo says, so why they not mention confirmed rumor of Horizon 5 going to PlayStation 5? Here's what I love, right, about rumors, right? Rumors are just that. Sometimes they're right and sometimes they're wrong. What I like about it, what I like about the what's the word I'm looking for? The people that write the rumors and say, right? Like, I speculate stuff, and then when it comes out, when people are, like, confirming, like, I hear that Horizon 5 is coming to PlayStation, and then it doesn't get mentioned at all, right? No one cares if they got it wrong. They only care when they get it right. And I always think that's funny, right? Because I get a lot of things wrong, and I say it when I get it wrong, okay? But no one ever mentions it when all these other people are like, oh, yeah, it didn't come out, right? Just kind of funny.
Well, thanks, Charlie.
All right, so let's see. Wait, is that a new what do we got here? We got Diablo.
Particularly for World of Warcraft, the most ambitious creative endeavor for the team since the game's initial release almost 20 years ago begins tomorrow, with early access kicking off for our latest expansion, The War Within.
That's all.
And
the
tomorrow,
we'll
Senior
skip
Game
that stuff.
Director Ian Hazakostas and Associate Art Director Tina Wang will be sharing more about the team's work on the expansion and the role it will play
Diablo
in the three-part
stuff.
World Soul Saga. Last night, we also gave an overview of some new features coming to Diablo 4, Vessel of Hatred. And we know you have a lot of questions. So Diablo General Manager Rod Ferguson will be getting
Are setting aside gigs of space to explore even more this epic open world.
All right, what's this about?
That's what we're doing straight afterwards. We're all going down, yeah, and I'm going to come out on top, all right? Awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining us. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Gamescom as well. Coming up, though, the team from Stalker 2 is here with the latest from the sequel, Heart of Chernobyl. Sick. Plus, we've also got a look at the newest Xbox accessories that are enabling players everywhere to play the way that they want. And later on, we're going to explore the newest Starfield expansion, Shattered Space, and find out why fans everywhere are setting aside gigs of space to explore even more this epic open world. But first, do you know what's great? Xbox Game Pass. Yeah, take a look at this.
This is paid for, right? Paid for by Game Pass, by Xbox. The whole show of Gamescom is Xbox.
Welcome to the gameplay commentary of our new game, Lonely Mountain Snowriders, which
Oh, this is like that dirt bike game my son plays,
is the
but now it's
spiritual
snow.
successor to Lonely Mountains Downhill.
These are
It's a
fun.
skiing game in which players need to find their own way down the mountains in a wild and beautiful mountainscape. Our most important new features are a real-time online multiplayer in which up to 8 players can play
we'll play this.
cooperatively or in a competition,
We'll
as well
play
as
this.
a new trick system that allows you to pull off awesome-looking flips, spins, grabs, or
Yeah,
super
my
cool
family will play this.
combinations. We focused a lot of the development time on the controls and to make the feeling of carving down the slopes as smooth and fun as possible. Skiing is all about using the terrain in your favor. You need to gain the maximum momentum to do the longest jumps and use the best shortcuts. On top of that, you can also do tricks, ride backwards, or cross rivers and icy lakes.
Oh, I know, Mo. But Xbox has got a huge. It's not even a
The
booth.
game features 4
It's the
different
building.
game modes. The online
Because
multiplayer racing mode
they're
is
trying to
all
get
about
into that
crossing
market
the
over
finish
there.
line first. While in the team mode, you and your team members have to ride and do tricks together to ramp up the highest score and beat all the challenges. You can also pick each other up after a crash and place checkpoints as a group.
I have IGNs up in the background as well.
In the solo mode, you have to beat challenges to unlock new mountains and trails.
Yeah, the one I
You can also
played
try
with the
to
dirt
reach the
bike or the
upper
bicycles,
leaderboards or
downhill
beat your own ghosts.
something.
This is the mode that will be most familiar to players of our previous game. And last but not least, there is the new Zen mode. Here, you can ride all trails without any kind of pressure and
Oh, that's
freely
nice.
explore the mountains
That's a good
to
improvement.
find secret spots or just enjoy the beautiful landscape. Whether you're playing multi or single player, you will gain experience to level up your profile, unlock new ski types and trick poses, and a large variety of customization items. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video.
That's a fun game. Now we can compete because that's what we do. We pass the controller. Like I'll play and then my son plays, and I play and then he plays.
The Xbox Game Pass hype is real, and right now it's easier than ever to join the party, especially if you play on PC. Why? Because PC Game Pass is the...
You guys want to see Stalker 2? Information on Stalker 2? If so, we'll watch it. If not, we'll go buy it. Like 10, 15 minutes of it. Those are controllers. Anybody interested in Diablo? We can look at Diablo stuff.
The journey to the Savage planet has turned into revenge. Here with more on what fans can expect from Revenge of the Savage Planet, please welcome producer Noémie Lecourier and creative director Alex Hutchinson. Thanks
This was
so
a fun
much
game.
for joining us.
We're very happy to be here.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
How's your Gamescom going so far?
Very good.
Very good. Busy.
Yes.
It always is. There's so many games to play, so many things to see. But Alex, it's been a journey getting here, and not...
Guys interested in Savage Planet? If not, we'll skip, because I want to watch information of Starship Troopers Extermination. So Savage Planet or... Yes, Savage? Anybody else? You guys go with Savage? Listen to Savage.
Not only to the sequel to fans, but also to evolve the game as a whole. Can you unpack that for us?
Yeah, I think it's been a pretty crazy half a decade for not only us, but for the entire games industry. So we originally began as a studio called Typhoon Studios. We made Journey to the Savage Planet. We were acquired by a large multinational.
Ron, that doesn't make any sense.
The pandemic happened.
Starship Troopers is
the
literally
game, and on the day we
way,
shipped,
way
that same
before
multinational made us all redundant.
Helldivers even
so we found
existed.
ourselves sitting around trying to figure out what to do. But luckily, we decided to reform. So we're a new studio, Raccoon Logic. And we've made this new game, Revenge of the Savage Planet.
Yeah, and Noémie, can you kind of talk about the world that we live in with Revenge of the Savage Planet? Have we got the gameplay that we can push up? But
before that,
I think Alex is going to talk about
yeah, so before that.
Yeah.
So obviously some of the big changes are that we've switched to third person in this one. It's still, a game about exploring the world, interrogating everything that you see. It's filled with wonderful, wacky, weird creatures. That's
their audio
4
problem, by the way.
now instead of 1 planet. So there's lots more to do and lots more to see.
Yes, so we basically can survey, scan everything, and collect and catalog. Here, as you explore the world, you're going to discover rewards, things to collect as well. The rewards are blocked by encounters.
I kind of think they
with,
should have made it where you could do third person,
as well
first
as
person.
puzzles and navigation challenges. So lots of fun here.
Yeah.
it looks. So
I think
cute,
if you should make it a choice of the person.
It's like adorable.
And you know it's a sequel when you're swimming.
Just
Yes.
it happens every single time.
Every
You've got
time.
to add water
Second
in. If
game.
you go in, no water.
Exactly.
Second time thing. But Alex, there's obviously a ton of creativity by the team to produce an incredible world, but perhaps players' take on its obstacles can be equally as creative. So in the world, like, how are players going to approach the obstacles that they face?
Yeah, so we've taken a really systemic approach to open world design. So it's still a Metroidvania. You're still being blocked by different obstacles. You need to go back to your habitat and upgrade your tools to get through them. But what we wanted to do was have a Metroidvania where there's a single lock, but multiple keys. So you see different types of objects. Say if it's a cracked wall that you need to blow up, you could do it with a grenade. You could find a creature that explodes. Anything that generates an explosion will get you through. And so hopefully, as you see in this video, there's a little bit more systemic chaos than most games of its type.
So there's lots of creative ways to kind
This
of
seems
like
like it'd be
solve
a
the
fun game to
problem.
play with my son as
Have-
well.
You can have a bit of fun with it, and every time you play it as well, you're going to get those different experiences.
Exactly.
Another way players can make their game their own is through customization. You know what I mean? Can you talk us through customization?
Yes, absolutely. So we've added tons of new outfits in the game. You can mix and match between the different outfits. So whether it's the helmet, the boots, or the gloves, all the outfits are inspired by sci-fi themes, famous like Star Trek. Here we can see some of the suits here, as well as like Power Rangers. So
If you put on the red shirt, you get killed immediately in the game, but you reprint.
What have you got wrong with the red shirt?
That's funny.
It's just a trope. It's just a trope.
That's funny for Star Trek.
you also have a habitat where you will find all the main modules, like you see here, the PC that you will use throughout the game. But there's also another section that you can fully customize with lots of things. So as you explore the world, you will find Alta crate containing Alta.
You know, this reminds me of a little bit. A little bit. Obviously, not a one-to-one, but the way they're talking about it and the way it's like fun, and I think you go more than 2 people, if I'm not mistaken. It reminds me of Deep Rock Galactic.
You can spend in the Alta store on furniture, accessories, and basically a lot of useless junk to really make the space your own. So I hope players have a lot of fun with that.
It's like my own flat all over
There
again.
you go.
Just lots of stuff from Gamescom will kind of like come with me, and by the end of it, I'll have plushies for days. But co-op is such a big part of the game as well. Can you kind of talk us through that, Alex?
Yeah, so a lot of the team members have worked on different 2-player co-op games, whether it was Army of 2 or Far Cry 4. We've had a lot of success with it. We think it's an intimate way to play with
So it's only 2 players.
your best friend, your partner, your kid. And this time we've made sure you can do it in any way you can imagine. So there's not only network co-op, but there's split-screen co-op you can play on the couch, and even cross-play. So you can
That's
play
great.
on any system with any other system.
That's great.
I
wish more games had that, right? I could play online co-op. I could play couch co-op. I can play... Fantastic.
Playing split screen games as well. Like, I grew up playing with my brother. Like, every single game that we get our hands on to do split screen, that was always the way I went and played.
Perfect.
Yeah, also, it's so good you've been able to return to this franchise and bring tons to the fans. This game looks so fun, it feels like fun, and went to create it. Alex, can you tell us what you think the magic is for this game and what makes fans love it so much?
I think it's humor. You know, you see a lot of games that are very gray, very brown, very serious, and we wanted to get back to a world that was fun, that was upbeat, that was optimistic. We like the idea of exploring space because it's fun, and you're going to find something exciting. You're not going to find Matt Damon on the moon, you know, eating poop mushrooms or Mars. So, like, hopefully people see that the humor in this is in the gameplay as well as the script, you know? That the joke we always tell is that, you know, I can write a one-liner that's funny once, but slapping your best friend to their death off a cliff is funny forever.
Yeah, you can just kick them off in as many creative ways as possible.
Yeah.
Like, just trying to get through that cracked wall. But also, really importantly, when a player's going to be able to get their hands on the game.
So it's going to come out sometime next year, 2025. For more info, you can go on the website.
They don't know yet. So summertime, maybe? They're going to promote it again at Video Game Award Show, maybe, and then at
Savage
Gamescom?
Planet
Or in
Game,
Summer Game
and
Fest?
wish list as well,
No,
right now.
Please wish list.
Yes, please do.
Yeah, and honestly, I can't wait to come and have a go with it as well. So thank
Absolutely.
you so much for joining us as well. And have you got any final words as well that you want to share with fans?
No, we just please wish list on whatever platform you like, and we'll show you some more gameplay soon.
No, honestly, thank you so much. But
Thank
coming
you.
up, we've taken a spin in.
All right. Let's see what else we got going on here. A comic book game, whatever that is. What is this?
Time fails to protect
Okay, we'll let this go for a second. Let's go watch some Starship Troopers.
You never forget your first drop.
Reinforcements inbound. Hang tight, demons.
We played this last year. We got about 25 hours into this game. They just did a massive update. They added a whole bunch of new classes.
Those doors open up.
Like 6 classes now.
Everything changes.
Let's go, troopers! Move up!
And let me tell you, when it hits the fan,
Bunting coming!
it ain't the Federation you're thinking of. It's those who stand together.
Extraction inbound.
Those who fall.
What's great about this game is that it's PvE and it's 16 players working together. It's fun.
And those who stay behind. So we can fight another day.
Get to the dropship, troopers!
This is why we fight.
You know what to do. Extraction complete. Third wave ready, Command.
Let's go, Rico.
Later this year, you can finally do your part to make the galaxy safe by battling the bug menace in Starship Troopers.
They're adding Rico in the game. Water. He literally is going to be on this panel right now talking about it.
If you'd like to know more, you're in luck because I'm joined by the legendary Johnny Rico himself, Casper Van Dien, and Gareth Woods from Off-World Industries. Welcome, gentlemen. Thanks for coming by. I see you brought some backup here.
Some friends of ours.
Yeah, I always travel with them.
I love it. It's I feel incredibly safe. This is wonderful. Now we also brought something very cool, which is a brand new trailer. We just got to look at that. I was thinking we could maybe just throw it on again and maybe pause periodically, pull out some details, call out some cool stuff in there. So yeah, let's take a look.
All right.
So here these are Starship Troopers. Is that correct?
Yep. These are these people right here. There's a drop ship coming out of here.
The only good bug is a dead bug.
I love the face mask that they've added in Starship Troopers Extermination. We didn't have that in the original, but we had coming out like this. That's a plasma bug, right?
Yeah. Let's kind of talk about that. There's some new bugs in the game.
Yeah, we wanted to show off some of the bugs that I guess people have seen already in the early access, but I think the big reveal was obviously the tanker bug, which I suppose we've teased. People knew it was coming. It's in the movie, and that's always been a thing we've tried to push throughout development of the game, is that you're going to get to live action role play the movie. And so if it's in the movie, we want to put it in the game. And so the tanker bug reveal was obviously a big one.
Can you make private servers in this game?
Tigers we've seen before.
The tiger bugs are huge.
But obviously the big reveal now when the tanker bug unearths from the ground, the music's at a great crescendo. You really start getting the goose flesh. And obviously part of extermination is extracting safely, but sometimes someone has to stand behind and defend the base.
Oh boy.
And with the nuke, which obviously very impressive.
Good way of handling that.
100%.
Is that the Watkins trigger?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it is. Yeah, but with a nuke attached to it.
Yeah, with a nuke. Yeah. Well, he held the nuke. That was the Watkins thing. He held his, when I said to him, "What are you trying to do?" Kill? And he goes, "I'm just trying to kill some bugs." That's Seth Gilliam, who was in The Walking Dead. They named it after him. These people are. Off-World is so incredible. They take the time to look at all the details, and they would add these little things that people would know. That
imagine that, right? Something is so simple and so ridiculous is that they take the source and they make it exactly like it was in the movies, because the fans of the movies are going to pick that up and be like, "Oh, this is so good."
Watch the movie.
Yeah.
Or go back and watch it.
Do our best to kind of cram in as many Easter eggs as possible for the...
And think about this. How many people that are young right now know what the fuck Starship Troopers is? They don't. They don't know what it is.
fan service.
I was overwhelmed with
And
them.
Casper, I think you were saying this back at IGN Live, but like, you recorded more lines for this game than for like all the movies. Is that?
I did.
That's wild.
It was so much fun. We were in there, and they'd throw something else at me, and then I'd go, "Hey, what if we did this?" So we played when we were in there, and that was so fun for me to have people that they're like, "Oh, I got an idea," and they go, "Casper, that was great, but why don't you try this?" And then I'd be like, "Oh my God, that's even better." And then I'd throw something else, and I'm like, "Oh no, that was perfect." So we had so many different things that we added. So there were so many levels, but they had already come up with the dialogue. It was so incredible. It reminded me of just
the building in this game is great.
Who wrote
it's
Starship
fast.
Troopers.
And you're sort of playing like the general. You're like just commanding everybody, you're bossing everybody around, and then the actual.
You get your orders, and the narrative is delivered through Casper and other voice actors. But essentially, you play a trooper, and you've got your NPC kind of characters that join you. They've all got their own backstories. They've got their own kind of personalities. And you essentially go through these series of missions for what is Chapter 1, which will be available at launch. We are then periodically throughout the ongoing live service going to be delivering more chapters. Chapter 2 is already
it's a
been
live
recorded,
service game.
with Casper.
Surprise.
But we'll be able to continue the story through more free DLC that comes out later.
Cool, and it's also like 16-player co-op.
No, that is a single player,
single
but
player
4-player
version.
squad.
Okay. Gotcha,
Essentially,
gotcha.
you're an elite special operations group that are, Casper, the general, has kind of commanded you and cherry-picked you as the best of the best to go out and deliver these special missions.
So he's the general in the game.
This has also been in early access for quite a while.
Yeah, since May of last year.
Yeah, which is awesome, and obviously, like you've got some extremely active Starship Troopers fans around. Some of them just hanging out on stage with us. What's some of the feedback you've gotten from early access, and what's the community brought to the table?
Yeah, I think people have really appreciated our obvious love of the franchise and wanting to put as much of what you see in the movie into the game. I think the particularly unique selling points of the game have obviously been the 16-player element. I think horde shooters is a super popular genre, but no one's doing that kind of 16-player element.
It's the best part. It's the best part of the game.
Treat you as the hero. You very much can make a difference by yourself, but with 16 players, you have to team up. You have to work together. And so the unique roles that you play in that squad, and taken from our studio's experience with Squad, our other game, which is a 100-player game, we've really tried to...
Oh, I didn't know they made Squad. So the people that made Squad or made this. I didn't know that.
Elevate that element of teamwork and coordination.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. What they do is they even benefit. You get perks if you help other people, if you're trying to help other troopers out. I mean, they've been very thoughtful in this, and it's incredible. I go out and I play all the time.
Yeah, you've been streaming the game yourself,
I've been streaming it and also just going out and steaming it by myself, just going out, and I go as General J. Rico, and people are like, "Wait a minute, you sound like the guy from the movie," and I go, "I am," and they're like, "No way!"
That's great for random players to just. I recognize that voice from somewhere.
Yeah,
that's so cool. Now, Casper, I got to ask, there's a lot of bugs in the game. Do you have a particular favorite in the game, or just the general Starship Troopers?
Of course, I love killing the warrior bugs. I love that new Tiger Warrior bug, and the tanker bug has always been my nemesis. So that's been my thing. So I am so excited that this has been revealed. I've been wanting to talk about it. I've been wanting to see it, and I've been wanting to play it. And you can get on top of this bug, and you can blow it up.
You do the grenade thing?
Yeah, you can climb on it. Yeah, that's
shoot it.
It's weak point. Yeah,
and more than one person can.
Oh, see that's cool. This is going to go back in the rotation.
But I also love that they have carnage, so that the bugs start piling up here and they don't disappear. You have to deal with the carnage as it comes. It's incredible.
How's that going to work? How's that? I want to see how this runs on the consoles.
So the bugs pile up and they can crawl over and get in, but you can also crawl up on them. You can blow them up. You can go through them. I mean, it's incredible. And they don't. You go away and you come back. All those bodies are still there. They don't disappear.
See, that's cool, right? Because not only are you playing with 16 players, and there's just hordes of bugs coming, but then when you kill them, you see them piling up like World War Z type of stuff. That's cool.
That is disgusting. That's just awful. I love it. I'm very into it. I guess I'm just sort of. Can you give us an idea where we're at with the single player story? Like what?
It's coming on to console, Sarge.
Sort of what's at stake? Where does this fall in the general canon? Can you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to reveal too much because obviously it is a narrative and kind of spoiler territory if I give too much. But essentially, General Rico, who's now a general again, and he's got a kind of antagonistic relationship with the rest of command. But essentially, he's picked you and your fellow troopers to kind of.
This is IGN's coverage of Gamescom Day 1. I'll turn. We're watching Starship Troopers Extermination.
So secret missions that. I feel like I'm walking to
you're great. You do this so that you can move up in the game. It also gives you it's incredible. I haven't seen it yet. I've only done the voice for it. I've heard what they've said. I'm going to go take a look at it today.
Yeah, but it's important to allow people to have their Troopers experience by themselves if they want. But also, I think for a lot of people to get them ready for multiplayer, which can be intimidating. I think for a lot of people, they want to play the single player. They want to feel like they can do their
So there is a single player campaign, and then there's the multiplayer. That's cool.
part and not, be the sore thumb that sticks out.
Do their
And
part.
so-
I see what you did
Yeah,
there.
you
I
like
see,
that.
I see what you
You're
did
picking
there.
up what I'm dropping down, yeah.
How chaotic does it get when you've got 16 people just running around? Is it just...
Yeah, I think that's the thing when you first start. It is literally like herding cats
Lots of ball jokes. Just putting it out there.
kind of thing. But towards the end, I mean, especially when you get to the higher difficulties, everyone kind of knows what to do. They know
Yeah.
their part. They know the engineers, whatever role you're doing, everyone knows what the medics do, the snipers do, what the engineers.
What I loved about it is when you play the game, obviously there's always people that take that role and they start commanding. I need this. I need this. We need a squad over here. I love that stuff.
Yeah, we were just talking about this because I've been playing. I've been going out just playing, and I'm like a newbie again. So I'm like totally a noob, which is incredible because I was an OG in the old days, but now I'm a noob again. But I've been playing, and when I'm playing, sometimes you get, you have to have your medic, you have to have engineers, you have to have a ranger, you have to have a sniper, you have to have all the different people. If you get a whole team together and they all work together, cohesiveness, you can be successful. I had an incredible game I played with all these random people, and we were just playing. Like, I can't believe you're here. And we I just went in with these people that knew what they were doing. The engineers built an incredible base.
You see what he's talking? Do you see how he's talking right now? You see how his eyes are getting right now? That's the way I used to look when we played Battlefield Bad Company 2 back in the day. When you have a squad and it actually works together, when you play like Hell Let Loose, he's addicted. You could tell.
They had all these things. You get all the material you need to get to to build and get your weapons and get everything up, and then you go out and you kill the bugs. The hordes come, you kill them.
Like the way he's talking, yeah, he's got the gamer look, Sarge.
And then you have to get extracted. It's incredible.
Victory. I love it. Everybody's got to do their part. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming by.
Thanks for having us again.
Thank you for just providing backup. I love it. You can check out Starship Troopers Extermination right now by enlisting for Steam Early Access, and the full version will mobilize on PC and new-gen consoles October 11th.
Ooh, it's coming out October 11th. It's good. It's a good fun game. It was good a year ago when we played, a year and a half ago.
Check out IGN Plus.
I haven't gone back to play
ad-free
what's it called recently?
World Saga.
What is this? We're doing World of Warcraft.
Some of those threads back together, and so
this is World of Warcraft.
Nostalgic for some folks because
I don't think any of you guys are interested in World of Warcraft.
Quite famously, there's a giant
World of
sword.
Warcraft. What else we got?
Perfectly with the.
And that brings me to the question of how.
All right. I want to hear a little bit of Marvel Rivals. Hold on a second.
It was a matter of time before we got a superhero shooter that pits iconic heroes against each other. Here to tell us about Marvel Rivals.
People can play it right now, content creators wise. They're going to be streaming it.
And Liu Dingchen, who will be translating. Hello.
Hello. There's Danny Koo.
Good. So we saw another two characters being introduced.
Well, I'll go back to WoW if you want me to, Jones.
We've got Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Can you tell us how they'll play, what their kit looks like?
OK，美国队长呢，我们在设计的时候呢，首先就是会考虑他就是 I can do this all day。那基于此呢，我们去设计了他很高的一个机动能力，方便他在敌人的战场和队友的战场中间就是来回穿梭，again and again。然后其次呢，我们围绕着他的盾牌展开
Their volume is really low. I'm trying to raise it.
然后比如说他可以去反弹钢铁侠的大招、格鲁特的大招，这些非常有意思的一些点。然后最后呢，就是他的大招会展现他的一个领导气概，去带领他的队友去冲向敌人，然后赢得这一场的游戏。
Well said.
So basically, when we're talking about Captain American, we have the core concept of I can do this all day. So we give Captain America very high mobility. So he can run into the battlefield and then come back for to his ally for more supplement. And for the design of his shield, he can reflect projectiles or even the ultimate from Iron Man.
I was watching some gameplay of him yesterday. It looks good.
And also,
Super tank.
And also in Captain America's ultimate, can show his leadership that to charge with the entire team to the battlefield.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so then that brings me to the question of how will the synergies work with the team-ups with Captain America? I'm assuming Captain America and Winter Soldier will have a team-up.
No, they're actually rivals in this game.
So, okay, never mind.
As you can see at the trailer, Captain America say, "Hey, Bucky, stop it." And he's like, no. Right? Hence, they don't have a team-up. But Captain America going to have a synergy with Thor. Thor blasts his electrical property on Captain America's shield, and where he can electrify his attack, basically.
Okay.
And then for Winter Soldier, he does have a team up with Rocket. So Rocket will supply him infinite ammo for a short duration of time, and he can do whatever he needs to do on the battlefield.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. That's amazing. I love that they're divided.
I'll
People
play
are
this
gonna
when it
love
comes out
that.
a bit.
So with new players and new characters, I wanted to ask, since the release is this year, when new characters do come out in each season, will players have to purchase those characters, or will they be released for free?
So we announced that all heroes are unlocked from the beginning. So it's free. Just jump in, pick your favorite heroes, and play. And that goes beyond as well. Yeah. So if new heroes get added, you just play from the get-go.
Okay, wow. Yeah, so with the Battle Pass system, I think a lot of people are curious because it did change a little bit from the beta. Can you go into detail as to how the structure is going to look? Will there be dailies and repeatables that will give you XP?
We did some testing during alpha, beta, and there's some response, positive response on the Battle Pass, and I think we're going to expand that to allow more activities for the players. Please look forward to it. We will show a roadmap as we go closer to the launch date.
Yeah, so speaking of feedback from the beta, what was the biggest piece of feedback you got from the players? Because we did see that balancing was kind of an issue, especially with the season bonuses that some players could get, like Venom getting 150 health. So what was the biggest piece of feedback that will be implemented for launch?
So actually, the biggest piece of feedback coming out from beta is when is the next beta? That's the actual biggest one. As to game balancing in the nature of game development, we work with the community to kind of listen, like what they think is overpowered, what they think is underpowered, and we'll take that working with the design.
That's always going to change.
To kind of figure out via data and maintaining the fun, but balancing the game for the players. So we make this game for the players, and they tell us what they want to play.
Yeah, so you make it for the players, but I feel like also, if you have a favorite superhero, you kind of make it for yourself, right? So is your favorite heroine in this game, and if not, who's your favorite hero and who do you want to put into the game?
Really?
对于我们来说，我们所有的英雄，我们每一个人都非常的热爱。对于开发者团队来讲，因为我们就是需要确保每一个英雄他都是足够独特且有意思的，这样子玩家在游玩这个英雄的时候，才能觉得我真正在扮演这个英雄。所以说，对我们来讲，也许私下玩的时候会有一些特别喜欢的英雄，但是你如果问我 What's my favorite? I'm going to tell you everyone.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, just as he said, for the team, we like every hero, and we just want to make every hero has its own unique point, and also making players feel like they are truly embodying the character is our top priority.
Yeah, at Marvel, we work with the NetEase Games team very closely. So about 70 to 75% of all those greatest hit of heroes that you might know from the movies, the TV shows, or the comics. And we throw some curveball in it for like 20% of them, and deep cut from over 85 years of Marvel history that we can pick from.
But which one's your favorite here?
My favorite's already in there.
Oh, really?
I co-created Luna Snow for Marvel back in 2019. So.
Wow, yeah, see, I didn't know that Jeff the Landshark was going to be my favorite, but he absolutely is.
Adorable.
I love so
Who
much
the fuck
that his
is
sound
Jeff the
design.
Landshark? I don't know who that is.
He sings the little song as he goes into moves towards you.
Yes, yes. It was great working with the voice actor as well on this, bringing Jeff from the comics to life in this 3D environment. I think the NetEase Games did a fantastic job interpret how a land shark that acts like a dog works in a battlefield.
First of all, let me pause this for a second. They need, like, day one, Human Torch, Silver Surfer, Gambit, Rogue, juggernaut. Like, Doc Ock. Like, how are you not shoving all of these characters into this game? Right now, they have 25 characters announcing Winter Soldier and Captain America, right? They are 15 short from what I said they should have by launch in December, which is 40. I want to see 40 characters in this game by launch. Okay, they got 15. They got a really long way to go. I don't know if they'll get there, but they're like 40 characters to start and then add a whole bunch afterwards. Yeah, Doom is in there, but Doom's not part of it yet. Not confirmed yet. They just showed Doom, but it needs to be in there. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, I have to ask just because he's my favorite character, and I do play support quite often. Do we know what kind of skins he's going to get? Like, is he going to get one of those Kigurumi suits with the little dog?
It says online at launch it will have 39. I said 40. I want 40, Travis. 40 at launch.
Ears, that'd be really cute.
I can say here it's going to be very cute for sure. Basically, Jeff can basically wear anything he wants and look cute.
Yeah.
It's a little adorable land puppy.
Yeah.
Like he's a shark.
Yeah. So the last question, what are you the most excited for players to get their hands on with the full release?
Two things I want to know. Is there going to be a PvE anything inside this game? I'm telling you right now, you're an idiot if you make a game like this and you don't put content like comic book storytelling. Like you drop Doc Ock as a new character and you have like a story thing that you could play for Doc Ock, right? Just saying, you'd be an idiot not to do stuff like this.
翻译啊，对，是你期待那个玩家们在上线的时候会看什么？
哦，我们希望就是首先可以肯定啊，我们上线的时候还会有比 CBT 更多的内容，包括英雄，包括地图，所以我们希望在玩家上线的时候可以体会到就是大吃一惊，就我们有很多的新英雄可以体验，同时呢就是还有一些新加入的协同，这些东西都可以带来非常不一样的漫威的体验，而且是独属于漫威争锋的一个体验，我们就非常希望玩家能够感受到这一点。
Okay, so when a game released, there will be more new heroes and maps, and we will definitely surprise the players, and there will be more team-up skills. And also, we want to make sure that to offer this exclusive Marvel Rivals experience to the players.
I'm just looking forward to players making new friends and rivals, frenemies on this. We have a very strong community, and they make new friends every day through playing these games, and I look forward to that.
I was going to say, a lot of my friends...
The crowd says, Mike, if you want story, you can always play Concord.
Played with, we are now enemies. So there's that whole experience. But thank you so much for adding Jeff the Landshark, my favorite character.
Thank you.
Now, Jeff the Landshark and everyone else will be releasing December 6th on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, so you really don't have to wait long. We've got more Gamescom coverage coming up right here at IGN.
All right, so let's see. We got that. We got IGN. What is this? What game is this?
Major splashes of color everywhere. I love it. What sort of inspired this art direction? Because it feels like high fantasy.
Yeah, so...
Next year, Avowed is turning players loose in a whole new corner of the Pillars of Eternity universe.
Here to tease what's waiting for us in the
Avowed.
Living Lands is game director Carrie Patel from Obsidian. Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so the first thing that jumps out to me about this game is we've gotten a lot of open world fantasy games, and a lot of them for a long time were very sort of sepia toned, you know, a lot of browns and ochres, but this has major splashes of color everywhere. I love it. What sort of inspired this art direction? Because it feels like high fantasy.
Yeah, so big props to our project's art director, Matt Hansen. Color, vibrancy is super important to him, and it also really brings to life the fantasy of the Living Lands. And the lore of the Living Lands throughout Pillars is it's this kind of larger-than-life frontier island where you've got all these different biomes and monsters and kind of never-before-seen sights, and a place like that just has to be colorful.
Yeah, it's got that sort of 70s album cover flavor to it, which I love.
Yeah, I just want to point out also the dual-wielding wands is really selling it for me.
Yes.
Wait till you try dual pistols.
Oh, yeah, it's so fast. I love it. So you were talking about the breathing world, and for me, I love exploration, but I also love storylines. So I wanted to ask, how many different endings are there in Avowed?
Ooh. Okay, that is very hard to say. I can tell you that our ending slides number in the double digits, and you can end up with a lot of different combinations of them. I mean, this is an Obsidian game, so your ending is really the sum total of your choices across the game, across a lot of pieces of content, depending on what you encountered and what you did when you found it.
So no pressure.
No pressure.
Yeah. So, I mean, this feels like something that is specifically designed to be experienced in multitudes of ways and replayed over and over. Is that something you're looking for players doing? Is just like playing this game repeatedly over and over in completely different variants and deviations and stuff like that?
Absolutely. And, you know, we've built our gameplay around, you know, giving you a lot of options for how you approach
I don't understand
combat,
that, Travis,
how
what
you
you're
build
doing
out
right
your
there.
character.
Like, even if the game does or doesn't come to, but why do you do that? Why are you being like haha, I can't wait for this Xbox game to come to my PlayStation? Because that's what you're doing, right? Like, it doesn't really matter if it comes. Like, play the fucking game and play it. That's it. But that's what it does. Like, what about if it doesn't come to PlayStation? I mean, obviously, I believe it is.
You can, you know, choose one of your classic,
That's not the way it comes across,
you know,
though.
fighter, rogue, wizard.
Because what you would say is, if you're excited, I can't wait to play the game. Not say, I can't wait to play it on my PlayStation 5. You see what I'm saying?
Fantasy archetypes, or you can choose something where you mix and match styles, you mix and match weapons. There's a lot of freedom in how you progress, and you can really build whatever kind of character you want to play. And in terms of the storyline, there are really a lot of choices to be made too, about kind of where your true loyalties lie, kind of who your allegiance is with.
But why would you have to say that? Do you see what I'm saying? Obviously, we know you have a PlayStation 5. So just saying, I can't wait to play it, right?
Within the end game. And so we're really excited to see players explore those possibilities and just build their own story.
So I'm definitely very new to the Pillars of Eternity universe. Will this be very beginner friendly to kind of maybe spark their interest to research?
Altern says, I can't wait to buy a USB stick on my TV and hook up my controller and buy Game Pass and set up my internet connection and then play it on the cloud. It's a lot of steps.
More about that universe?
Absolutely. So we're expecting that a lot of players are going to come to Avowed as their first game set in the world of Aora. So for players who are returning Pillars fans, there's certainly some callbacks, references, and cameos that they'll recognize. But for players who have never set foot in the world of Aora before, they're going to have a great time too. And we've built our game to draw them into this world. And you know, one thing you might notice in some of the dialogue is we have these lore tooltips.
I don't understand how people say Avowed looks bad. Like, it doesn't look bad.
So if you see a highlighted term that's unfamiliar, you can press X when it pops up and get a brief explanation of what that is without interrupting the flow of the conversation.
Oh, it's like my little ebooks where I get to see
yeah.
the description.
Just watching this play out here, it seems like there's a ton of different combat options and enemies. What are some of your personal favorites, Carrie?
Oh, goodness. Well, I love to hate healers because they undo all of your hard work. But some of my favorites are really the brute archetypes. They're these big, heavy hitters, which you can kind of see with the Godless Executioner that you're seeing in this run. What I love about them is they have these really big, heavy-hitting attacks, but they're also super easy to read. So it's really fun to maneuver and dodge around them, and every time they smack you, you're like, I wasn't paying attention, was I?
Yeah, I don't know, Sarge. Like, Avowed looks bad compared to what? I don't know. Just looking at the game, I'm not comparing it to anything. I'm just like, it looks good.
So you brought up rogue as a type that you can be. Can you steal from people's pockets?
There are a few dialogue options that let you do that. This isn't a game where we have a really thorough crime system, because my goodness, if you tick off everybody in the Living Lands, who do you have left? But yeah,
I don't think that the first trailer looked realism, right? Like, I don't think I mean it has its own style. I don't think it ever looked like realism. You know what I mean? Now, I will say from the very first thing they showed compared to what they're showing now has been a downgrade, and that's understandable. But I don't think the game looks bad.
Yeah. You can make use of some of those skills.
Wait, okay.
That's like I want the people to hold the exact same thing now. They saw a hand for the Borderlands 4 trailer holding up the mask. If the graphics don't look like that, well, it's going to look bad. It's just kind of weird.
Okay.
I understand one's CGI and one was gameplay, but they showed it early on within their build. Now they have to bring it down to console level or whatnot.
Can you actually kill a lot of the NPCs in this game? Like, I don't know if the quest NPCs are, impervious, but...
It's a totally fair question. In this game, we decided not to go with the kill everybody approach. Yeah, it creates a lot of chaos and a lot of fun, but we felt we could create the game we wanted without that.
You'll have to get...
Yeah, I don't think it's about the graphics, right? I think it is the art style. They just don't like the art style. Like Jason earlier said, he doesn't like the art style of Marvel Rivals, right?
Your aggression out.
I know.
Which is the correct thing to say. Like, I don't like the art style. I'm not a big fan of the art style, which is fine. But to say it looks bad, that's just kind of weird to me. I'm like, that doesn't look bad.
I'm sorry. That was a very me question.
There are plenty of other things to kill, though.
Can I kill all the harmless people in the game? No, calm down.
All right.
So there are a lot of fantasy RPGs out now. There's been sort of a renaissance. What's something that you all knew you had to do to make Avowed sort of stick out and be its own thing?
So I think one thing we really wanted to do with this game is integrate the companions very closely into the experience and the story. So the companions have a whole lot of content to discover. A lot of it really is driven by the player. You can choose to stop and talk to them at party camp, or you can say, you know what, we're on my adventure and we're just going to go forward, and that's fine too. But they will all play an integral role in your story. They have skills and perspectives that'll help you understand the world and also help you get where you need to go and survive along the way.
That's awesome.
You know what I think it is about Avowed? I think it's because it's made by Obsidian, and because Obsidian also worked on the Fallout series, and Fallout New Vegas was probably one of the better, if not the best, of the Fallout. That when they look at this, they're comparing Avowed to Skyrim, right? That's what they're doing. I think subconsciously people are looking at this going, well, Obsidian made New Vegas, and they did a good job on Fallout, and now they're doing Avowed, which kind of looks like Skyrim, and Skyrim looks better than this, and that's what they're doing, which I think is the wrong stance to have.
Yeah, so final question I want to ask, because you said there's so many endings. Is there one canon ending?
In my opinion, there's never a canon ending. It's your experience.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's... I will go out there and, I'll be a peacemaker this time.
Whatever ending you get, Stella, you can pretend that's the one that everyone thinks is the official canon for the end of the game.
The one time being the main character is okay. Well, thank you so much for taking time to speak with us. I am very excited to see Avowed later. And yeah, you can check out...
But see, also that's what people are going to say. Well, it's somewhat of a Skyrim, right? And I think that's what they did. Just like when Starfield came out, they started comparing Outer Worlds... that Oblivion did is, they did it before that. Do you see what I'm saying? They're doing the exact same thing.
Avowed for yourself when it hits PC and Xbox Series X and S on February 18th. But right now, there's more Gamescom Studio on the way, so stick around.
I'm ready to take on the role.
Join me now at because it's like
I don't want to watch
build.
this stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
It's bloody massive.
I'm a 40 than a that
we
go.
No.
Okay.
Well,
2024, and we've been getting so many looks at so many cool games, but now we get to talk about the best one of all. I'm here with Ed Beach, the creative director at Firaxis Games, to discuss my personal game of the show, Civ 7.
Well, that's awesome that it's your personal game, so
yeah,
what more could I want?
I was telling you off screen that I just got into Civ 6 and now I have to relearn Civ 7, but I think that's fine.
We're trying to make it so the barrier of entry is a little bit lower than
you guys
before.
interested in Civ 7?
6 could get a little dense
Yay or
in
nay?
places.
Yay or nay?
Jumped in at the end with all the expansions.
If you're not interested in that, well, maybe we'll go with something else. Let me see what they're cooking up over here. Savage Planet. Hell nah. You can only do both. Nah, there's no real difference. Okay. What is this one?
A most dreadful nightmare, truly. It tears at me. The fortress of stone and valor, which I struggled to build, is now slowly crumbling.
This is Avowed, isn't it?
The land, caught in a perpetual autumn, yields to decay. A futile sacrifice remains ensnared deep within the horns of the south. A shield, now weakened and cracked by time, fails to protect my people.
Yeah, see, I've never played any of the Pillars of Eternity.
Has befallen those most loyal, yielding only despair. I am left paralyzed, powerless. Not one witness. My people, my legacy, everything is collapsing. They hailed me as the once and future king. Only now do I understand the horror of that title.
Tainted Grail, Fall of Avalon. In Q2 of 2025.
It's one of my favorite massive open world space adventures, and it's just got its first ever expansion coming up. Here with more on Starfield Shattered Space, please welcome lead creative producer Tim Lamb. Hi Tim, how are you?
Tim, why do you always look like you just got done playing golf? Are you always on vacation, Tim?
I'm doing fantastic. Nice to meet you, Bex.
Awesome. It's lovely to speak to you today. So let's chat opening night live. We had a really fun look at a very vibey trailer about some vehicles. Could you tell us a bit more about that?
I can. So we released the Rev 8. Super excited. The team is so happy to have this new element that adds to planet exploration in the game. So, you know, we have these dynamic worlds.
I hear words coming out of his mouth, but I'm not understanding.
With, you know, dense terrain, lots of very interesting obstacles, and like now those worlds are our playground to drive around on.
Heck yeah.
We have a lot of, in navigating that, we have vertical boosts, forward boosts, we have a weapon on there. It's like a lot of different minute to minute, just like fantastic gameplay opportunities for players.
Yeah, super exciting. And
I'm gonna check it out
like
after
he was
after
having a
streaming
good
this
time
one.
as well in the
Yes,
back there.
yes,
Love
yes.
that, love that. Now let's talk a wee bit about the story in Shattered Space. It's very dark and mysterious. Could you tell me and everyone watching a little bit more about the story?
Yes, so I think there's a hopeful optimism in the giant sprawling adventure of Starfield. You go to a lot of different locations, you meet a lot of different types of people, the cast of characters there, and Shattered Space, that tone, that mood, we were able to sort of distill it down and focus it into a location in the game around Dasra City. So like we get to meet that new House Varun, the people there. There's a moment of strife that they had. We get to experience that with them now.
Yeah, they sounded a bit intriguing, shall we say, in the footage that we saw last night. So can you tell us a wee bit more about the House of Varun and kind of who we'll be coming across?
So I don't want to, no spoilers.
I don't want to say anything from the game, so I really can't say much, but you're going to be meeting people from House Varun. Oh, interesting. Interesting.
You encounter a derelict star station, and this starts you on your adventure to meeting the Varun. You end up in their home world, Varun Kai, in the city of Dasra. There's been a catastrophic event. You deal with the minor houses of the faction of House Varun to sort of uncover the mystery of what happened, and then, you know, resolve it as you do as a player.
I hope the missions are longer than the $7 DLC they put inside the store. Just saying.
Nice.
There's lots of choices in there for you.
Okay, very interested to find out what that story kind of leads us on to as well. Very good. Along with that story that we've been chatting about, there are some new game features as well as a huge new planet that we can explore. Could you tell us a bit more about those two?
So we have the city of Dazra. We focused, all of our effort has really been focused on the area around the city. So I think the beauty of it is that there's exploration, that you can find nooks and crannies in the game or little secret discoveries or locations you feel like, I know I'm coming back here. So there's like an excitement there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's that,
I have a question, Water. They added a new planet. There was 1,000 planets already in the game. They didn't add a city to one of the planets that were already there. They added a new planet. So now there's 1,001 planets in the game.
Yeah, I'm so excited about it.
Yeah. Oh, so excited as well. I mean, even in the trailer, we saw kind of a very summery, beachy vibe cruising around on our Rev 8 too. Have you taken it for a spin?
I have. No, I do. And I think Shattered Space is like a fan.
Yeah, no, it's a handcrafted planet. Well, map. Not the whole planet, right? Just the tile.
Fantastic playground for it. Now, you can take the Rev 8 to any planet.
Yeah.
You can take it into Varunkai, Varun's homeworld, and drive it there as well. But like we support, I think that's one of the great.
All right, this is what we're going to do with the vehicle. This is what I do with all vehicles and all games. We're going to play Starfield. Jack Burton's going to go on a little adventure with the car. And we're going to try to drive that car everywhere. In every building, every known to man, we're going to try to get into... Oh, wait. No, you have to go through a door. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. You're not going to be able to bring the car inside the base.
Great things about our games is we always support any type of play style. So it's like you can play with it, you can play without it, you can take it to Varunkai, you cannot take it there.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll definitely be taking it for a spin as well when Shattered Space releases too.
I mean, I named our ship Pork Chop Express, so I wouldn't see why you couldn't name the car.
Was there anything else that you wanted to chat to us about?
And even if I couldn't name the actual car product, I could just look at it and go, that's the Pork Chop Express.
About for Starfield Shattered Space coming out, anything we can look forward to?
You can. I think you can look forward to an interesting story, a handcrafted world, new weapons, new gear, new items that sort of alter the way you might think about Starfield.
Amazing. Well, Tim,
we tried to look it up yesterday. Wonder Guy, no, was it? I forget who it was. I think it was Wonder. Looked it up the price yesterday. I don't think you could buy it separately. I think you can only get the $30 version, which I already own the regular game, so I don't want to buy the game again.
I cannot wait to play it as well. And everyone watching at home as well, be sure to check out Starfield Shattered Space, launching September 30th with Xbox Game Pass. Thanks again for chatting with us. Now, next up, we're exploring, scavenging, and hopefully surviving the harsh world of Atomfall. But first, let's build a dungeon.
Let's build a dungeon. Let's build a game studio. So is it a game within a game? Like I'm building a game studio, building games, but I'm building a game within the game? I'm playing a game, building a game. I'm sorry. What did that say? 10 out of 10. A real game that really exists. A game misinformer. Award winner, most hypnotic game. Giant Bull. I love it. Did you see that last one? Did you read the last one? An unbelievable experience, and I mean that. GN. Oh, beautiful. Let's build a dungeon game dev simulator. That's interesting.
Hi there, I'm James, the designer of Let's Build a Dungeon, a game development simulator that's coming to PC and Xbox next year. We previously bought our game Let's Build a Zoo to Xbox Game Pass, so it's exciting to be back here sharing news of our next game. Today, we want to share a closer look at our multi-layered management sim, and also reveal some brand new features that we've never talked about before. Let's Build a Dungeon is designed to simulate every aspect of running a game studio, and that starts with designing something your virtual players will love. You get to decide which quests to put in the world, and whether you want to focus on a traditional
Fetch quests. That's it. Our studio will be called Fetch Quest Inc. And we'll just make games that make fetch quests. That's it.
RPG built around magic and combat, or something more cozy like fishing or running monster farms. And if you want even more control, we have an exclusive new mode to share with you. Creative mode is our sandbox, but it's a sandbox quite unlike any other. Not only do you have access to literally thousands of assets, buildings, and characters, in Let's Build a Dungeon, you can also tell your own story. We are developing a series of easy-to-use tools that lets you create almost anything, from a production-level dialogue editor that lets you create branching conversations, events, and rewards, to a full AI editor that lets you adjust anything from attack probabilities to spawn rates and weapons. We even have a tool that lets you draw your own pixel art characters, which will then automatically animate them for you. Our goal is to build a suite of tools that...
Ron says, are you allowed to... hold on. Are you allowed to delay your dungeon? Yeah, I think you can. You can... I want to put a date of a broken game on this date, and then I want to delay it 5-6 times. And then I also want to call my fan base sexist, racist, misogynistic, and why my game didn't sell well. If that's not in this game, then it's not reality.
It gives you as much control as we have when building our games. Games made by the community will be available for download, along with some titles made by developers like us here at Spring Loaded. Adding these tools felt like the natural extension of our game development simulator. Why stop at building the most detailed game dev sim ever created, when we can add elements of a game engine to give you a full, authentic experience? Hopefully, this short overview has given you an idea of what
I'm actually pretty...
from Let's Build a Dungeon.
I'm intrigued by
it
this.
Ships next year.
I really am intrigued by this.
Windscale, the pride of Britain, nestled in the picturesque Lake District.
Atomfall.
The state-of-the-art atom plant has transformed this rugged landscape into the envy of its northern neighbors. Scientific progress waits for no one.
Windscale. Everything changed when that bloody atom plant went up in flames.
Citizens of Wyndham, there has been an increase in bandit activity outside the village walls.
You know what they should have done? They should have taken the team that did Fallout London and then just made Atomfall and hired that crew to make a different game that was in the... Never mind.
Temporary quarantine, they said? It's been bloody years.
They're hiding something from us. Something terrible.
Ultron says, yeah, they sold me with GN. Yeah, as soon as I saw that, I was like, all right, I'm interested.
My name's Molly. You got out to trade? I got bits and bobs for sale.
You might play this.
Please be careful. It's more dangerous than you can possibly imagine.
You might play this. I mean, it is on Game Pass. March of 2025, but they just delayed Avowed during then. you can't put two games near each other. I'm gonna have to. They're gonna have to delay it. I need my backlog to catch up on.
It's mystery mixed with folk horror weirdness, all set in a not so idyllic post-war British countryside, and believe it or not, it's based on a true story. Really? Well, here with more on Atomfall, please welcome Creative Director for Rebellion, Ben Fisher. How you doing, pal?
How you doing?
Welcome to Germany.
Thank you.
First time here, or?
Been here for Gamescom before.
Yeah. But not with a
That's not the voice I thought he was gonna have. He's like, thank you very much. Holy Christ.
A game quite like this, right?
No, let's talk about that, Ben. Actually, you're right, Henry, because this is a huge departure from Rebellion's most famous series, let's call it Sniper Elite. Can you tell us about this sudden change of pace here?
Sure. I mean, it's similar and it's different in different aspects of the game. So we always value sandbox exploration and giving the player lots of freedom in their objectives. But at the same time, this is a survival action game with some sort of RPG-ish elements. There's skills, there's crafting.
Survival action game.
The story of the game unfolds as you explore. It's kind of a mystery game, so tonally quite different to Sniper Elite.
I love the exploration side of it. I mean, from what we just saw in the quick trailer, there's a lot going on. It's not just one sort of trope that you're sticking to. There's a lot to unpack. So maybe as we're checking out some gameplay that you brought along that we can experience, we can jump into some of the influences that have made it into this title. Because, like I said, it's a lot going on in it. So let's check out some of this gameplay as well.
That's a phone booth.
Yeah.
Where else?
I mean, it's on your T-shirt as well.
Yeah.
It must be quite a core feature of Atomfall, I assume.
It is actually.
Oh.
This is where you take your missions.
As you explore the world of Atomfall, you're uncovering a mystery. You're discovering what's happened in this post-apocalyptic quarantine zone in 1950s north of England. Different characters will ask you to do things for them, and they might help in return. And one of the characters that you can interact with is this mystery phone voice. You don't know who they are, you don't know what they want, and you have to choose which characters you trust and don't trust in your exploration.
Kind of like Bosley, Charlie's Angels vibes coming through the phone.
Yes, exactly.
I like that. That's cool. You know,
Those
speaking
mutton
about the
chops.
story, and Henry, you mentioned it earlier. True story. Like, what is that about?
Yes. Well,
Surely not.
yeah. It's based on real-world disaster that happened. The first major nuclear disaster in the world was in Sellafield, so 1957. We went to
I hate to say this, but I think the audio guy right now has the wrong switch on because I can hear more background noise than I can actually hear the voices.
use that as a jumping off point for a story. So Jason Kingsley, one of the owners and founders of Rebellion, observed that there are lots of games that are kind of like post-atom storytelling, like post-atomic disaster storytelling.
It almost looks like this dude's talking when the guy's talking.
But none set around this first disaster that's happened in the world. So we took that as a starting point and then thought, what's a Rebellion kind of interpretation of that kind of event? So, like I say, we value that kind of sandbox exploration and player freedom, and then combine that with the sort of unique Britishness, and that led to the environment that we've got in the game. So it's kind of an alternate history story, and it's a mystery that you uncover what's happened. And as part of the process of building that game world, we looked back at 1950s storytelling. So references like the Quatermass series, which is one of the very earliest sci-fi serials, or like early Doctor Who, and things like that. So like UK TV.
Imagine when he sings, he's more of a soprano.
Gold kind of cultural reference points that even if people don't know the reference itself, they know the influences that came from it. And at the time, there wasn't a clear distinction between like folk horror and sci-fi and those kind of stories. So it's a blend, it's a natural blend in the storytelling style of the 50s.
And of course, you have to chuck some cricket bats in there for good measure. I mean, the combat's pretty crunchy, right? I mean, this is, like you say, a bit of a departure from Sniper Elite, which is typically long range, but in here we're getting right up, even the fact that it's first-person camera as well. Like, these are conscious decisions you've made. So why did it feel right for Atomfall to treat it that way?
So in the case of Sniper Elite, you are an elite-trained sniper. You know, Carl Fairbairn's like a human sniper rifle, right? He knows exactly how to fire a shot miles to take out that one guy. This is a different character in a different situation. We wanted it to be a mystery, so there are no signifiers of age, race, or gender for the player character. They're wearing gloves, so you don't know who they are. Their backstory is part of the mystery that you may or may not uncover as you
Right, Water? Like, I feel like I just want to get a beer right now. Big Stein, and start drinking in a kilt. Let's go.
explore. We wanted you to feel more like it's not so much a war zone as a pub brawl. You're desperately attempting to survive. There's not much ammo around. The guns are all rusty because everyone's been trapped in this quarantine zone for 5 years. You're mixing melee and ranged combat. You can throw your melee weapons. You can kick people to make them stagger back. We wanted you to be constantly, desperately mixing options and scavenging desperately for resources. So there's a real kind of tension as you play, which is very, very tonally different to Carl, who's calm and controlled.
Yeah, he's got the wrong thing put up. There's like a microphone open that's pulling in all the audio from the background.
Reads an entire
because those microphones that you wear on your mouth like that should not be picking up all that noise.
Situation before he decides what to do.
I think we can definitely get on board with the pub crawl element.
My entire playthrough is like it's a scene from Kingsman basically, and it's gonna feel good. It's gonna feel great.
Talking about Kyle and that he's an iconic character. What about the characters in Atomfall? Are player characters and maybe so much of the focus, but are there other people that we're going to meet that are going to be key?
Yeah. So. I need to
like that's not their microphone picking up that. That's a different microphone picking it up.
Have the right answer that doesn't spoil too many things, but as you explore the game world, different characters will ask you to help uncover the mystery of what happened in the Windscale plant and maybe ask you to do something when you get there. And if you do that for them, they might try and find you a way to escape this quarantine zone, or they promise to. So as you explore, you've got to decide who you trust and who you don't trust, whether you think they're telling the truth or trying to manipulate you, whether you believe the same things as they do. So it's all murky shades of grey. There's no good guys and bad guys, and it's all completely open to the player. So you could theoretically kill every character in the game, and there's still a way to finish the game. You could theoretically...
Challenge accepted. I can kill every person in the game and still finish the game. Let's go.
They play through and kill no one, and there's other routes available.
He did say theoretically, though.
To you. So we really pushed hard into giving the player lots of options and lots of rewards for observing and choosing what to do. So there's lots of tropish characters, lots of kind of characters that fit this world of being north of England and also being 1950s, 1960s culturally.
Yeah.
Oh,
I like that.
Nice.
I mean, as a fellow Scot, Ben,
body
really
just
quick,
went.
are there any maybe Scottish people in there that we can look forward to meeting? I'm sorry.
Spoilers, yeah. But what we have done is we've taken like 1950s sci-fi, 1950s, or like
Who are you throwing that at?
old-fashioned folk horror type trope characters and Cold War scientist trope characters, and you'll meet those kinds of people as you explore through the game, and then still decide whether you trust them or not.
Okay.
So we got pub rules, we got crazy characters. They're all living in this open world that we're experiencing. Can you tell us more about that? I mean, how did you construct it? How big is it as well?
Okay, well, what Rebellion excels at is these deeply packed kind of sandbox maps. So the way that we've structured Atomfall is a series of like 5 or 6, depending on how you count, sandbox maps like the one you can see just now. And you can travel freely between them at any time. They're all thematically very, very different. And then there's loads of interiors and like large-scale, story-driven locations that you might uncover, as well as bunkers that are full of loot that you might find. What we wanted to do is really lean into that densely packed kind of puzzle box.
This looks very interesting.
So I've spent all day watching people play the game, and no two playthroughs.
I like what he's talking about.
Very differently, get different experiences. As you explore the game, you'll find leads as well. So we don't have a kind of quest system. We've got leads that you piece together clues that help you understand what's happening. So we built this puzzle box, this sandbox of interconnected options for the player, and then we just let them go for it.
He just waved his hand like magic, and it just appeared.
They might find a difficult, dangerous place and die, but we signpost very clearly that it's a dangerous place, and then it's kind of up to them what happens.
That's right. I love a puzzle. I'm buzzing.
Yeah.
We're great at solving them together, to be fair.
Well, sorry, just like Try to type this. Someone does. He's like, I must be on a blacklist.
You could work on it. I mean, you just said that there'll be leads that players can follow. So tell us a bit about how they're equipped to do so, because we just saw like literally pulling out a metal detector and taking part in that great British tradition of finding some old coins or whatever it could be. But what are the other ways we can do that?
Yeah, so you might find a lead that someone's hidden in a box under the ground somewhere. They've a bit of storytelling around it to draw the player in and make them try and understand how it fits to the game world. But there's also characters that you might find in the world. There's friendly characters that you can barter with, and they might sell you or trade something with you which has a lead in it. Or if you do some trade with them, they might get friendly to you and give you a lead. You can also have conversations with characters, and if you choose the right choices, you might get some more information from them. The way that we've approached those is the same kind of high stakes player freedom. So you can get the conversation
I actually would
wrong,
like
right?
to do a
You're not
playthrough
working your
where
way
I
down a
literally
list
just kill
of
everybody.
conversation topics until they grey out.
Everybody.
And then move on to the next one. It works more like a real conversation. So if you judge their personality wrong and say the wrong thing, they might shut down and stop talking to you. And you've pruned a chain of leads that you might otherwise have found something interesting in the game world. So you're always having these influences and layers that you may even not notice are there.
That sounds so smart. I can't wait to dive into that as well. That's so cool. I understand there's some crafting elements in that as well, and also, metal detectors, scavenging. Can you tell us what that kind of looks like in Atomfall?
Sure. So the player's desperately trying to survive and finding materials to help them survive. Yeah. So even if they find a gun, there might be 3 bullets for the gun. So they can find materials that let them craft things to help them heal or help them in combat, so Molotov cocktails and makeshift grenades and things like that. So you find yourself trapped into a corner and you can make these resources that help you survive.
Filing cabinet.
Like I say, we're trying to make sure that we find this sweet spot where you feel kind of desperate as you're trying to survive. As we want you to use everything that you find. We've made sure your backpack capacity is quite limited as well, so you're really pushed to make these difficult choices and decide even whether you want to engage in a fight or not, whether you want to avoid it entirely. You want to choose the right moment and try and take out 5 guys with a Molotov. It's all really, really high stakes, but it makes it very rewarding when you manage to pull something off.
It looks like our player right now is making a horrible decision by going into a restricted area. Already seen a ribcage. I mean,
yeah. I mean, so
this is going to go great.
Like I mentioned earlier, if you're heading into somewhere difficult or dangerous or scary, we make sure and signpost it. So if you go into a place like that and then you die, you go, "Oh, I should have guessed. Yeah, there was a skeleton outside."
Yeah, that one's on me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
To be fair, I'm very good at ignoring red flags, so we'll see about that.
And in terms of the player's progression then, so you're making all these decisions, you're making friends with everybody, you're crafting your gear. What about skills, anything like that in the game?
Sure. So there's a range of skills that help reinforce the player's ability to survive in this dangerous world. So there's a chain of skills that are for melee combat, ranged combat. There's sort of durability skills that mean you can take more damage and survive in dangerous areas, and then also abilities that help your overall survival.
Do you think that people are going to play this and go, "This is not the elite sniper game we asked for"? Do you know what I mean? Okay, so Rocksteady's not allowed to make a different game, right? Other companies are not allowed to make different games, but this company's allowed to make a different game.
And things like that. So really we wanted to keep it grounded so that there's always that sense of threat and pressure, but we wanted to give you some advantages. So you might learn a skill that lets you throw a melee weapon, and if it's bladed, it'll stick in targets and things like that.
This is not the Batman game I asked
just to help
for.
give you that edge over the course of the game. As you can see in this location here, they're in a kind of dark and then scary interior. So we've got the player's progression, but then there's also a kind of
half-naked alien
game world progression where
bunkers.
they're uncovering a mystery. So quite literally, they have to push deep into the world and into the underground of the world to find these dark and scary places. We try and keep it tense the entire way through the game.
I was going to say, because there is the sci-fi element, but there's a bit of horror vibes I'm getting too. Like,
it's the sniper elite you
us
deserve.
Competing with people maybe on a top level, and now we've got into this bunker. There must be some monsters of some kind.
Yeah, we just saw a little glimpse of something scary and monstrous. And as you push into the mystery, you will find more elements influenced by what happened. But yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said earlier, the storytelling style of the 50s and 60s didn't really have a division between folk horror and sci-fi. There was like a blend for a certain kind of story that was addressing the Cold War, but in a way that wasn't too political, I guess. So, folk horror stories are about the division between rural and urban civilization and how there's a tension between them, and Cold War stories are about fear of the outsiders and others and that sort of
when
thing.
they first showed it, we were like, oh, it's
thematic resonances
it's
between
Europe
all of
Fallout.
these different storytelling
But
styles,
now,
which make it
listening
really
to
easy
what
for
he's
us
talking
to
about and
push into
saying,
these otherworldly
and then
horror
seeing
elements
it,
as you
I'm
push
much more
into
interested in this game now.
That's so sick.
We've got quite an atmospheric bunker, like you said, as well. Have you got a favourite part of the maps that you can share us with? Again, nothing. I'm really pushing it here, but any favourite place to maybe have a picnic or anything like that?
Well, actually, there is a favourite secret place which I can tell you about a little bit. So,
it's a secret place.
As the player is starting the game, they're given one lead. A person tells them that the heart of this mystery is a location called the Interchange. So to begin with, you're trying to find this place, and as you make your way in, it's all unpowered. It's been shut down. It's been quarantined. And you push into it and open it up more and more, and it's like an unfurling flower as you find all of these leads that are the heart of the mystery. And the more you find, the more leads there are to find. So you end up in this kind of like snowball effect.
Cornish pastry.
He's just picked up a Cornish pasty.
Oh yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Stunning.
Yeah. Well, this is pre-Greg's era, I suppose. So we'll take all we can get for now.
That's brilliant.
Just don't ask what
gosh.
meat's in it.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
It's really fun for me to see
Yeah,
like the
dial-up
contrast
phone.
between that dank
rotary
bunker
phone.
we just came out of, and then like the overworld is so lush and vibrant. And listen, I've been to the north of England. It's not always this green. So.
Sometimes.
What are you guys
yeah,
doing
exactly.
in
I mean,
chat?
I live in
Keep
London,
putting
and
that
it's just grey all the time. So any green I can get is good. But
It's the Lake District on a good day.
yeah, exactly. So will we see many other types of biomes or environments in the game as well?
Yeah, so one example would be there's a woodland nearby, but it has more of a kind of spooky folk horror-ish tone. As you get into it, it feels more mysterious and occult. And there's a group of kind of pagans that if you tread wrong, they'll cut your face off.
Well,
with,
great. Don't put me
sickles,
on the list.
Or you can find a friendly character who's sort of part of that group and talk your way into their compound. So we give you all these different options to, for whichever faction there are, ways to befriend them or get in a fight with them. Yeah,
I like
exactly.
that as well. Very good. I mean, I think we, especially at Xbox On, are super excited for Atomfall and to check it out and maybe even come across ourselves, because Henry and I
struggle
and
enough with people not
Charlie
being able to find my
have actually
channel.
been scanned
I need to get
into the
fucking
game.
blacklisted
which we're
more
very
because of your
excited
stupid
to
comments.
Maybe come across ourselves. Oh, there we are.
Yeah.
There's Henry getting his wee...
Yeah, I have to say it's maybe not the most flattering, methods of doing it, but what are you actually doing to me there? Because I just signed something and agreed to show up dressed as a big baby, and apparently that's for something. But
Yeah, no,
what
this
did
is
you
all
guys
just a
do?
massive scam.
Oh,
Yeah,
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 I
yeah.
thought so. Yeah, thanks. What is it that you guys have to do to get someone scanned into your games? Because the realism is quite impressive.
Sure. So we go through a highly detailed scanning process of every angle of your face and
No,
different
no,
configurations.
Z.
So we get
The
wrinkle maps
the
and things
channel
like
that he has a microphone open somewhere that's
So we didn't bother
feeding
with
in the back,
so they're all
audio.
assembled by character artists and rigged so they can animate. And then we, in the case of Atomfall, we then put that in a sort of character builder system. That means we can put costumes on the characters.
And they're not monitoring
We
it,
we
because
might
if they
crop your
were,
face up
they
a
would have
bit
known
'cause,
it.
They've been surviving for 5 years without washing machines and soap.
You should
and
not
then
be
we
getting
just
that
find
much
exactly the right
noise by
spot
using
for
these
each kind of
microphones on their
memorable
face.
again.
I'm definitely looking out for
See?
where I am.
Here's the problem. His microphone's not working, hence why they gave him a microphone. And even when they gave him that microphone, it still looks like that channel's not working.
If I'm on an enemy, that's okay.
Here.
The right spot for each kind of memorable face in the game.
I'm definitely looking out for where I am. If I'm on an enemy, that's okay. I've always wondered what I'd look like if I had a cricket bat to the face. So this is great. And you're going to be getting scanned in pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I can't wait. As long as you put some fake eyelashes on me as well, then make that.
I'll make a
that
note.
down.
Yeah.
Are you in the game as well? Have you been scanned?
No, I haven't been scanned yet.
Okay.
No. You have to shave a beard off if you want to get.
Yeah, you had to do that.
That was fun.
Yeah.
It was just the beard that we had to shave. Right.
Yeah, the rest was optional.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoops. Honestly, I cannot wait to play this game. It looks bonkers. It looks British as heck. And honestly, we're going to play it so much when it launches next year. Thank you so much, honestly, for stopping by. Enjoy the rest of your Gamescom. And yeah.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
and we are going to be taking.
Here, let me give an example here. When these guys were talking, did we hear all that background noise?
They're becoming just in time for Call of Duty Black Ops 6, which is amazing. Cannot wait for that.
Looked so good last night in the
You hear the difference?
Oh my goodness me, it was just
the campaign
silence.
from Raven. I thought it was just awesome.
Oh, absolutely fantastic.
You hear the difference between
Talking
that?
games,
Like, you
I
could
do wanna know,
still
like, what
hear
are
it in
you
the
gonna be
background,
playing? Is there
obviously,
anything
because
you've
when
got
they
your
talk,
eye on?
you'll hear
Last
it.
year we spoke about Brotato,
yeah.
and I
But
wanted
it's
to give you an
nowhere
update, and
near what
everyone at home
this
that I
what
have
this
now
is sounding like.
So we always value sandbox exploration and giving the player lots of freedom in the.
It's like I've done this a little bit. We got Dragon Ball Z here. You guys are interested in this. I'll watch this. I can hear the yellow-haired chick. Does she sound as background noise?
Hello everyone, I'm Marco Rizzo, Product Manager of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Thank you for joining us today in this exciting showcase. Today, we will show you some new and exciting gameplay footage featuring characters that we have revealed during the opening night live.
Do you just power up in this game? It's like stage 1, you're like, ah! And then like chapter 8, you're like, ah! And then like chapter 10, you finally fire and the game's over. Like, what's happening?
But before that, let me give you a reminder on the 2 single-player game modes that Dragon Ball Sparking Zero has to offer: Episode Battles and Custom Battles. First up is Episode Battle. In this single-player mode, you can take the point of view of 8 different characters, including Goku and Vegeta, and enjoy famous battles from the anime. For each stage, you'll be playing through an introduction before heading into some of the most iconic fights
Dolphin,
in Dragon
what
Ball
do you mean when you were a kid? You're doing that right now. I guarantee you go to in the morning, you look in the mirror and you're like,
and Dragon Ball Super. The number of stages and battles vary by character.
We're here to take you down. Simple as that.
Next up is Custom Battle. In this mode, players fight in battles that each have their own original scenes. Some battles will also have different victory condition, and some might even have event cutscenes pop up midway, so you'll be able to enjoy battles different from the norm.
Sarge says Dragon Ball games should let you buy 3-day early access just so you can power up 3 days and then attack on release day. Oh, man.
Using Edit mode, you'll be able to freely set the characters to be played, as well as the pre-battle and post-battle cutscenes, in order to make your own original battle. What you've made will be able to be uploaded and viewed online for the whole world to play, so hope you enjoy sharing the battles and situations that you have created. Now, the moment you've been waiting for. Coming straight from the Majin Buu saga, Ultimate Gohan is our latest addition to the roster.
I don't follow Dragon Ball Z. Is this okay? Is this okay? I'm asking for approval. Is this okay? Is she real? Is she in the lore? I'm asking. I know nothing about Dragon Ball Z.
Coming straight from the Majin Buu saga, Ultimate Gohan is our latest addition to the roster. After his rigorous training, he is ready to show his power in an all-out fight against Kefla in her Super Saiyan 2 form. Enjoy!
Robert Jones says it's sad you have to ask. I'm just asking. I like I said, I know nothing. Ford says yes, she's real. Okay, I'm just asking. All right. Well, my next question is: has she been in the series a really long time, or did she come in the last 9 years? That's my next question. She was adding the new stuff. Okay. Thank you. That's all I was. That's what I was fishing for. That's what I was fishing for. Thank you. I have to say the gameplay looks good. The gameplay looks fun. I could be in a game like this. All we need, I could do voice acting for this game. I'm a very loud talker. I can scream, ha, 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 and then, you know, I could do it. I could be a voice actor for this. This looks fun. all I hear is the hot, 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 hot. I'm going to be sleeping tonight. I'm going to close my eyes and I'm just going to have sounds of
Now, there is nothing like enhancing a classic with modern graphics and gameplay mechanics. And if that classic feature can feature, new expansions and a remastering of the multiplayer experience, well, in my eyes, it's even better. So here from World's Edge even, to give us the latest on Age of Mythology Retold, please welcome Senior Director of Production, Ernest Yen, and Senior Game Designer...
Sorry. I think we need to understand this. That the man is beating the crap out of this woman. Not cool. Oh, man.
Kristen Perillo, welcome, and Prostagma.
I don't care about this game, Mythology. I'm sorry.
And, yeah.
I don't care about this one. Yes. Is there something else? No? Okay. We're moving on from this. Going back to Gamescom. This is Civ. What is this?
キャラクター、武空術ができないキャラクターになっているので、かなりサタン。
ここに見えるように前のトレーラーでこういうサタン。
The new trailer looks awesome. To the release of Sparking Zero, and last night we got a brand new trailer celebrating the fact that it is only 50 days away, but I guess that's 49 now. Here to answer some of our burning questions about Sparking Zero is the game's producer Jun Furuitani and Mark Karstens, who will be translating.
Now, IGN's audio sounds better because you don't hear any of the background, but you also can't hear the goddamn people speaking. It's so soft.
Welcome. People are really excited for this game. People are extremely hyped for it. The new trailer looks awesome. There's one specific shot that I want to call out that people have a lot of questions about. There's a bit where Mr. Satan, or Hercule, is running away from what appears to be Vegeta in his giant Uzuru ape form. how does that fit into the gameplay? Because I feel like the rest of the battles are pretty straightforward. It looks like a fight in Dragon Ball. We get it. This is kind of one-sided. Where just
no, the game looks fun. I'm not a Dragon Ball fan, but I know you guys are, and this is why we're watching.
Maybe gameplay.
まあここに見えるように前のトレーラーでこういうサタンが悟空かベゲタのゴリラフォームから逃げてるところがあるんですけど、まあ別のトレーラーの別の部分はまあファイトとかそういうのは分かるんですけど、これはちょっと何ですかって、まあストーリーとかゲームプレイに関してこれはどうやってゲームの入ってますかって。
そうですね。これは普通に対戦のワンシーンを切り取った映像にはなっています。かなりサタンなんかは空を飛べないキャラクター、武空術ができないキャラクターになっているので、地面をこのように走るような形で、動くことができるキャラクターになっています。それを奥から大猿が接近して攻撃を畳みかけているっていうワンシーンをちょっと切り取ったシーンになりますので。
Water, this whole sentence that you just said, this whole thing, this might as well be Japanese. I don't know anybody. I don't know any of those characters or any of the things that you're saying in that sentence.
その中でもプレイしている中でまさにこういうちょっとリアルに本当に逃げ回ってるシーンみたいなことはリアルタイムに起こりうるものとして、こちら見ていただければと思います。
So this is actually a battle scene because you know you can play Mr. Saturn and Mr. Saturn can fly. So obviously you know if you're trying to get away from your opponent, then he has to run.
Now let me just put it this way: if you give me a game like this, Transformers, dude, I'm right there with you. I have no idea about Dragon Ball Z.
And this is basically a character of Saturn running away from Vegeta, who's trying to attack him.
Oh, you want subtitles?
I think running is probably a good solution.
They don't have the option to give subtitles.
The other thing that people
unavailable.
Really latched onto is there's a brief glimpse of Goku wearing his Yardrat outfit, which I don't know. I think people are really excited about the prospect of character customization, different outfits. It's already a massive roster. Can you talk a little bit about sort of different outfits or accessories?
まあもう一つのシーンはその悟空がヤトラットの服を着てるんですけど、まあ大きいロスターなんですけど、そのロスターの中にやっぱそういうカスタマイズがあるっていうのはファンが結構嬉しくて、そのコスチュームとかについてもうちょっと教えてもらえますか。
そうですね。結構悟空のこの衣装とかってその原作のストーリーの中でもやっぱり出てきていた衣装だったりもするので、今回お客様まずこのような衣装の。
Now I understand. Okay, now that you're speaking my language, okay, well in that case. Okay, Unicron versus Bumblebee in a 1v1. Got it. I understand completely now. Got it.
状態で戦っていただく、遊んでいただけるような形で実装させていただいています。まだお伝えできないキャラクターだったり、お伝えできない衣装とかあるんですけど、まだ他にも一部のキャラクターではこのように原作で登場した衣装で、遊んでいただけるようなものはございます。
So basically, I mean, this is a scene from the story. This is an outfit that was in the story, and as we're trying to revive the story as much as possible. There will be multiple costumes for multiple characters. We cannot go too much into the details right now. We're sorry about that, but certain characters will have multiple costumes to choose from.
Nate, you must be way behind.
There's some iconic ones. I want the Piccolo in the Post Boy shirt when he's doing the driving test. Now, it's been a long time since the last Budokai Tenkaichi game. A lot has changed since then. A big thing is obviously the fighting game community, competitive esports. Can you talk a little bit about how sort of that change has influenced Sparking Zero?
まあ前の武闘会の時よりやっぱそのファイティングゲームのコミュニティが結構大きくなっていろんなトーナメントも出てるし e スポーツが盛んになったんですけどそういう e スポーツの盛んの中新しいスパークゼロはどういうふうにそういうフィーチャーとかあるんですかと。
そうですね。この作品で申しますと、その他の作品でいうドラゴンボールファイターズとかみたいにその e スポーツすごい競技性が高くて公平性が高いみたいな形ではなくてどちらかというとドラゴンボールらしさドラゴンボール的な体験をすごい楽しんでいただきたいなということを念頭に作っている作品になります。なのでキャラクターごとに全員が共通して同じ強さであるっていうのではなくて、原作で描かれていたような
Is there a destructible environment in this game? That'd be cool if you could smash people through buildings. I didn't really pay attention to what it was showing earlier.
強さっていうのは調整させていただいていますので、基本的にはドラゴンボールキャラクターのドラゴンボールのキャラクターのまさにそのキャラクターになりきる体験というかキャラクターが味わえるこの、より自分が強ければより強い体験なかなか難しいキャラクターでも難しい体験みたいなところを本当にキャラクターになりきって遊んでい
Like you smash someone to the ground and makes like a crater in the ground and then you smash through the buildings and the buildings start to fall. That would be cool.
I mean, there are other Dragon Ball games where they have like very good balancing that is important and for esports to have like characters that are well balanced so that everybody has the same chance. But this game is more about enjoying being a character. So in this game, you know, strong characters are stronger, and you can play very strong, and characters that are weaker in the story are also weaker, and you can enjoy gameplay where you struggle a little more and it's a little more challenging. So the focus is different. It's not really balancing and having a fair esports fight, but more about, you know, being the character and being in the story.
でその上で一応キャラクターごとに、コストみたいなものが割り振られていまして、強いキャラは多くコストを消費して、弱い
Here's the thing about Dragon Ball,
キ
right?
ャラクターたちは少し少なめのコストになっていて、その一定のコスト
What's gotten me is that I've never been attached to it. One, I was older when it came out. Two, every time I have seen it on TV, I always thought it was like a rerun, and they were always at the same part of the show where the dude was powering up. Okay, I saw the main character versus the guy with the green tail, the green guy. That's it. That's all I've ever seen, and I don't know any of those things. I'm probably insulting some of you that are like huge fans. I just saw him powering up, and I was like, I don't know what's going on. And then I would change the channel, and then a couple days later, I'd come across the channel again, and I'd turn the channel back on, and he's powering up, and I'm like, are they still powering up? I was like, this is impossible. So then I was like, okay, whatever. And then I changed the channel, come back a couple days later, turn the channel on, still powering up. For me, I was like, is that all they do? Is that all they do is just power up?
コストの上限の中で、チームを組んでいくっていうような遊び方をすることができて、そうすることで一定程度バランスを取った対戦ができるような形にしています。
So on top of that, there's like a point system or cost system for each character. So for example, strong characters have a higher cost, and not so strong.
Is that true? They take a few episodes to power up?
Game, you can combine your team with like stronger or weaker characters and have the same cost to balance the odds.
Nice. Now, obviously, games have changed a lot since the last Budokai Tenkaichi. Can you talk a little bit about how
I can't even answer that question. I don't know anybody.
The old experience, like what will longtime players immediately find familiar, and
I think it looks phenomenal. I'm being dead serious. I think from what I know of the TV show, it looks like you're playing the goddamn TV show, and I think that's phenomenal. To be a kid, I'm trying to put myself in the like if I could play a Thundercats or a Transformers game like Transformers Devastation, literally they rip it out of the cartoon and put it into a game, and I can play and control the cartoon. Basically, that to me as a kid, as an adult, my mind is blown, right? So knowing what Dragon Ball Z is, knowing how popular it is, and seeing this going, that looks like the cartoon. You guys that are Dragon Ball fans look at this and are just, your mind's got to be blown that you're playing the cartoon.
前に出たんだから、その時のファンが今の新しいスパーキングゼロをゲームするときには、これは昔のようだと考えるところとか、これは新しいなと考えるところが、そこら辺はどうですか？
そうですね、おっしゃる通りシリーズ作品になっていて、それこそ前作17年前に出ているというところもあって、かなり時間が空いてしまっている。だからこそ我々としてはそのシリーズならではのこのアクション性、ゲーム性、そのバトルシステムというところは基本的には踏襲を
That's the same one, Sarge. It wasn't the green guy. No, it's that guy. That's it. The guy I just saw right there. I saw this dude powering up for three episodes.
には踏襲をするような形で作っています。かなり昔遊んでいただいた武道会展開地3と近い操作感で遊んでいただけるようにすごいチューニングしていますし、基本的ななんでしょう、吹っ飛ばしてから追撃をするだとか、相手の攻撃をうまくカウンタータイミングよくボタンを押してカウンターするだとか、そういった基本的なシステムはもうこれまで通り踏襲。
No, not this guy, not Cell. The other guy, the other green guy.
いるというのは大前提やらせていただいています。これはやっぱりシリーズ正当進化というか。シリーズの作品であるということをやっぱりお客さんに分かっていただきたいというのでそうさせていただいていますし、そこに加えてさらに武道会展開シリーズならではというかドラゴンボールらしいアクションというのを楽しんでいただけるようによりなんでしょうリアルタイムの中で
did he transform into that? Is that his final form?
というシステムを入れたりですとか、ちょっと中距離からでも一気に
This is what Magic does in front of the mirror. Right here. This is what Magic does in front of the mirror every morning.
瞬間移動的に攻撃を仕掛けることのできるバニシングアサルトみたいなですね、新しいシステムをどんどん入れていくことで、よりドラゴンボールらしいアクションを自分の手で生み出せるような進化というのを今回遂げるような形で。
Alright, so I've seen Cell. Normal Cell is what I've seen.
作らせていただいています。
So of course this is an old IP. The last game is 17 years old, so a lot of change there, but as this is a part of a series, we're very focused on making sure that the experience is the same. So we have
Wait. Goku was holding a spirit bomb for like the whole season. So he's just up in the air and he's holding it for literally the entire season. They cut away, tell a different story, come back to him, and he's still holding it. Is that what you're telling me, Robert?
Quite similar battle system, and whoever played the old games will be able to control it and have a similar feeling of fighting, and you know how to attack. You like you punch him and throw him away, and then you dash to him, or you know like you counter timings, and so will be similar to the old games. But of course, we added a lot of new stuff to make it more Dragon Ball E, let's say. So there are some real-time actions like now while you're attacked, you can revenge counter. This is a new system. Or, you know, you can, like, warp.
Well, I know, Sarge. I said 4 episodes, he was holding something and powering up.
Or, like it's Vanish Assault, we call it, like, when you immediately teleport to the enemy and then can attack and stuff like that. So we increased things that we know from the Dragon Ball universe that weren't in the previous game to make it more accessible and a better experience.
Awesome. Well, I'm dying to find out more.
What does a Dragon Ball Z comic book look like? Is it page 1, I'm gonna fight, and then you turn the page and they're powering up, and you turn the page, power up, issue 2 comes out, power up, they cut back and forth in different cells and stuff? Like how does that work in the comics?
Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is out October 11th on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. Right now, though, there is lots more Gamescom Studio coming up live on IGN, so stick around.
Oh, this is Indiana Jones?
So you can kind of like whip them from the ankle and pull them over, or you can knock their weapons out their hands. So then you can like dive in to get like your strong right hook in. And so, yeah, it feels like definitely it's going to have a little bit of that Uncharted. As you say, you can't escape that because indie is the start of that genesis. But I like that they're focusing on things that are very not like what other archaeology-style adventure games have done in the past.
No, and I also like there's a great deal of puzzle solving in this game. Like, in that 15 minutes we saw, there was at least 3 or 4 different types of puzzles we saw. Of course, you're going to get, like, the light and mirror puzzle that you kind of see in all of these types of games. But there was also just a good amount of kind of outside of the box puzzle solving. We don't know to an extent how many different ways you can solve certain objectives in this game yet, but a key tool that Indy has is his journal and his camera. So he'll go around levels and take photographs of clues, and then that'll help him not only solve puzzles and work out ways of completing these levels, but also for everything you successfully take a photo of, you get things called adventure points, which you can then use to unlock perks. We've only seen one of those, I think, so far, but I know it was one that you are also a big fan of because it plays into the films in a very funny way.
Yeah, so there is a perk called True Grit, and this is, if you've played Borderlands and you know what the second wins...
I don't think so, Sarge. I think the way, if I'm not mistaken, Harrison Ford, back in the late 90s or early 2000s, signed his likeness over to Disney. Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill. So I think they don't get paid for... They got a lump sum in the beginning, and that was it.
Sort of ability in that game is when you go down...
I think. Don't quote me on that.
It allows you to come back. It's a second life, essentially. But True Grit, the way it does it, it's perfect. He drops the hat, and then you pick the hat up and put it back on your head. Hopefully it plays the music sting, and then, yeah, you get your second life and you get to carry on. I think that's just a perfect way of knowing what the tropes of those films are and finding a way to turn that into gameplay. I think that's super smart.
I think they're doing a lot of things to play on your expectations and what you want to see from Indy, which is obviously going in, finding relics, like going into tombs, finding all these historical secrets.
I think it's going to be a good game.
Your expectations.
Fun
right at the end of the demo is a funny moment where they drop down.
It's just weird because you're definitely going towards the older gaming
but it's
market.
Actually scorpions. A fun little twist. I mean, he's not a fan of bugs either. That's more a Temple of Doom. A lot of bugs in Temple of Doom. You're expecting snakes.
Well,
I'm sure
we're
there
watching
will be snakes in
IGN
this
right now.
game. We haven't played it yet. We don't know how it feels. I'm hopeful about it, but they really seem to have like cracked the essence of Indiana Jones, and it does like, and I say cliche, but kind of does feel like you're playing an unofficial, well, almost an official film of Indiana Jones. They've got it spot on, and that includes even Troy Baker's impersonation, which, you know, if you squint your ears, if you can do that, I don't know if that's the thing, isn't too far away from.
I think he's got it pretty well.
Yeah. One big question people have had since the start reveal of this game is first versus third person. 95% of the game is first person. I'm happy with that. That is what separates it from the likes of Uncharted and Tomb Raider, I think. Otherwise, it would be, to an extent, a bit of a copy of those games and the Hitman games. There are moments where it switches to third person.
That's so weird to say, because Tomb Raider and Uncharted are copies of Indiana Jones, right? But because they're well-known franchises on their own now, Uncharted and Tomb Raider, that if they made this third person, obviously Machine Games doesn't make first person or third person, but now that they made an Indiana Jones game all these years later, now people would associate that as, oh, they're just copying Uncharted, they're just copying Tomb Raider, which is those games literally were made because of Indiana Jones, right? And like someone said in channel Eclipse, yeah, he's in Fortnite. The younger people are going to look at that and go, oh, that's the guy from Fortnite.
Person. Some of those I think work well, like the climbing, that makes sense, this in third person. But then like every like whip swing you do, for like a second cuts to third person. That is a little jarring for me at the moment. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I find the kind of like, there's almost a bit of Deus Ex. If you know the modern Deus Ex games have when you go into cover, it goes into third person, which feels like very natural for it. It feels like it works for the gameplay mechanics. It is obvious in this that when he does the whip crack to swing himself over a chasm, that they want to have that kind of cinematic element of indie. But the moment is so small. It's a second. So you're going out into third person for a second and then back into first person. Whereas with the climbing, you've got a more extended period and it makes more sense to that. I hope that there's a toggle that I can switch that on and off, because quite honestly, I'd rather play the game mostly in first person. It is a game that is clearly built for first person. And I want to play most of the game that way.
Especially because like the details of some of these like levels, it's a beautiful looking game, and I kind of, I think you can be immersed in third person games, but first person does give you that extra little boost to that, I think. And seeing some of these worlds and holding the journal up in first person, it all feels very tangible, and I like when games feel tangible. And it's another way they're really like encapsulating the feel of the films. I do want to touch on the comedy of it all as well, because I do think it's going to be like, that's what the Hitman side of, like, Hitman is one of the funniest games you can play because it allows you to do funny things. And I think even in the melee combat, you see like funny little like slaps and stuff like that, which is very funny. And also,
yeah, it's really nice for Epic to let their characters from Fortnite be in their own standalone games, isn't it?
So the way you can just pick up weapons from around the world, like there's a shovel on the floor, pick it up, hit someone with it once, and then that weapon will.
I'm so happy that Epic let Disney have Marvel so they can make movies and shows. So nice.
Shatter, so you can't overly abuse that system, but it's fun little ways you can just like pick up not anything in the world, but pick up little things and just use them, like kind of a little bit like old Valve games would with their physics engine, just kind of making weapons from the world. And I know you saw a little bit of Valve design to it. We don't want to overhype how much design work's going into this, but there is a little bit of that in there, I think.
Yeah, I think the kind of like the providing as many possibilities within a space as possible. They did talk about how there's a lot of linear sections, but then there's a lot of kind of like, I guess you call them wider linear sections, which is where you get to make more of your own choices on how you progress through the mission. And that's where we're going back to the disguise system. You have disguises that work for particular story sections, but then it seems like you get to keep those disguises, and then if you find an area that would require a similar presence, you can switch back into that. And so that combined with the like these slightly more open, a bit like what Chronicles of Riddick had, where it's like, okay,
it's got to be pretty trippy. Let's say Harrison Ford says, you know what, I'm going to play this game. Like his grandkids come up to him and say, hey, Grandpa, I want you to play this game. This is you from Indiana Jones, from Fortnite. And he's gonna play it and go, that's not me. I didn't fucking do this. Like, it must be pretty trippy to see yourself in a game that you did nothing to do with.
You're in an area, but there's sort of 4 routes that you can see that might go through it. And then, this one is, I can pick up this rolling pin and batter the Nazi with a rolling pin. But then I could maybe grab this guy's gun and fire a few rounds of that off. It's got a bit of that. It's not an immersive sim game in the way that kind of things like what Arcane and Ironstorm back in the day made, but it's got that freedom, which reminds me a little bit of Valve. Valve was always kind of hot on, you're in first person, as long as you can do things around with the environment, you'll find a solution. I'm hoping that's what it's going to get from. That's what it was suggested from what I was seeing.
I'm very excited for this game. Like, I was already very excited for this game as a huge Indiana Jones fan. I'm just glad now we've seen an extended bit of gameplay that there is a lot more to it. And I thought we maybe I was just getting a first-person Uncharted.
That is true, Z.
I like these stealth
He
elements.
probably doesn't even remember what he did last movie.
A lot more deeper systems than I thought maybe this game would have. And yeah, I can't wait to see more, really. Yeah. Fantastic.
No, they just set him aside and go, no, Harrison, you did do this. Remember? We just filmed the movie. That's why they made the movie. He's like, oh, that's right.
Diablo 4 was one of last year's most addictive games, and if you thought you were done, they're about to pull you right back in. Here to tell us about the upcoming Vessel of Hatred expansion, I'm joined by Brett Gibson, game director, and Tiffany K. Watt, production director.
All right.
Welcome.
Oh, what is this?
Thank you for having us.
I saw some Legos.
A bunch of
there. Hold
t-shirts,
on.
hoodies. Come check to the Gamescom studio booth that is exclusive to the IGN store. A bunch of t-shirts, hoodies, pins based on your favorite video games. We've got an exclusive Fallout Brotherhood of Steel pin set, which you won't find anywhere else. But if you aren't at Gamescom, you can also go to store.ign.com to grab a bunch of very cool merch and collectibles.
I think they missed the bar here on this thing back here where it says IGN store. They should have put 7s across the board. Just saying. I think they missed the bar. Vault hoodie, 7 out of 10. Like, no? All right.
Collectibles and stuff like that.
Yeah, but if you're more interested in what we have to show you, we've got the World of Warcraft expansion coming up next. Then we've got Marvel Rivals, Avowed.
This year to talk about Wang from for having us. So it's the 10th expansion.
So they have everything at Xbox just did, just a little bit later.
Mobile game from the developers, Darker.
Dark and darker. I would try it 100% water. If they put it on console, 100%. Especially if it's part of Game Pass. Crafton put Dark and Darker on mobile. You know that Hi-Fi Rush 2 is going to be on mobile.
IGN store has it all. From clothes and collectibles to vinyl records, accessories, model kits, and action figures from the biggest and best franchises like The Legend of Zelda, Star Wars, Fallout, Dungeons and Dragons, and more. Whatever your pop culture passion, you're guaranteed
So has IGN turned into Spencer's?
to find something you love. There are new and exciting products hitting the store every week, like the Wasteland-ready Fallout Vault 33 hoodie, which pairs perfectly with the working wearable Pip-Boy. Plus, high-quality
How do they get this? They have to pay licensing fees and stuff. Interesting.
IGN store exclusives, like the powerful and spicy Star Wars Darkside Hot Sauce by Truff. We've even got merchandise for you to rock while tuning in to the IGN shows and podcasts you love. Or cap off a long day by relaxing to the soundtracks of your favorite video games, like Cyberpunk and The Last of Us. And the best part? You don't even need to leave the house to go there. Just head to store.ign.com and start shopping today. The IGN store.
The Cinefix Top 100.
Another way to make GameStop go bankrupt. Ain't that the truth? All right. That's gonna end the show today. So, look, I like these interviews and stuff. I think the show that we watched yesterday, the opening night live or live, whatever, show me games, don't pull the handbrake like they did yesterday, where they did like a UN thing in the middle of the gaming 2-hour thing, right? Just show games. Don't interview anybody. Don't say anything. Just show me games. Show me gameplay. Show me trailers. Hype up the stuff. And then the next couple days, you look at the interviews, and if I want to go look for that interview, we can go get the interview. I hate when they do what they did yesterday inside the show. They had to pay a lot of money. To put Star Wars on a shirt and then sell it in your store exclusively, they had to pay some licensing fee for sure. All right, tonight we're going to be playing some Borderlands 2 with Sarge, shooting the shit with Sarge. I'm assuming if they're available, the same people that played with us last week. First might jump in, Akuta Papa might jump in, Kylo might jump in. So we'll be playing some more Borderlands 2 this evening, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern with Sarge. Come on by, hang out with us as we play Borderlands 2. Other than that, we'll be back tomorrow morning for some more Gamescom Day 2. We'll get some of the video footage and developer talks and other news if it comes across the board. Other than that, appreciate it very much. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you'd like to go above and beyond that. Become a member as little as $5. We do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning. We also cap off the week Thursday nights with Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories in the past week, and we rant along the way. This week, right now, it's up in the air if we're having a show or not. Right now, as it stands, we are, but we might not have a show this Thursday because we might have something coming up. But other than that, I'll see you guys tonight for some Borderlands. If not, I'll see you guys tomorrow for some more gaming news. Have a great rest of your afternoon, evening. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.